What's going on, folks? And thank you for tuning in with me to another edition of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And, of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, folks, I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me. This is episode number 585. Episode number 585 for all the folks that are keeping track of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And before we get into anything else, I'd like to ask everybody to please spread this show link around the internets like wildfire, all right? Let everybody you know that True Capitalist Radio, let them know that True Capitalist Radio is in effect and in the house, and we are live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. It's as simple as this, all right? Type it in your browser, add it to your bookmarks, add it to your favorites, ghost.report, all right? Ghost.report is the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. We independent now, baby, you understand? I mean, we doing things independently. We're not going to be stricken to any of these social media sites or any of these services, any of these Silicon Valley oligarchs. If you're listening to this damn show right now, then you are listening to the political underground of the internet. I guarantee you, baby, all right? We are the underground, for Christ's sake. And if you have not done so, folks, please follow me on my only social media account on the internet, and that's, of course, at Gab. Gab is the last bastion of freedom of speech on social media today. If you don't have yourself a Gab account, then I don't know what the hell you're doing. You can get to this social media by typing in your browser right now, gab.ai. And you can find me on that social media site under the name Politics Ghost. All right? All one word, no underscores. Politics Ghost is the name to follow. And once again, I want to say what's going on to everybody in the True Capitalist Radio chat room. How's everybody doing, folks? We've been having some very serious conversations as of late in the True Capitalist Radio chat room. I have to say that I really do appreciate that the trolls are gone. All right? I am glad, that the autism and the Asperger's and the mental retardation and the man-children and cartoon fetishing, all that seems to be completely eliminated out of the chat room. And now we've got some mature people that actually want to take life serious, take the world serious, take politics serious, and most importantly, take capitalism serious in the True Capitalist Radio chat room. If you want to be a part of it, folks, well then, by God, it's as easy as going to my social media account right now on Gab, Politics Ghost. Once again, all one word, no underscores. Politics Ghost. Go to my social media account and hit the subscribe button for premium content, all right? Hit the subscribe button for premium content, and once you do, private message me on Gab, all right? Private message me on Gab and let me know your Discord chat name. Let me know your Discord chat name, and once you do, I will invite you, give you a private invitation to the True Capitalist Radio broadcast chat room, and kick back with us, baby. There are like 100 people in here right now. What's going on to everybody? What's going on to BN King? What's going on to the Professor, Hawklate, Venturi, Aesthetic in the house, Tesla Cyberheart, Sparked in the place, Metaform, El Sureño. What's going on, man? We got a blasphemous David Hayter in the house. We got Australian capitalist. We got them all. Black Star Tristagio in the place. We've got them all. Come on down, be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, baby. We're always talking. We're always doing something. So come on down. Once again, go to my Gab account, Politics Ghost, and hit the subscribe button for premium content, all right? What's going on, Fly on the Wall? Hit the subscribe button for premium content, and once you do, like I said before, private message me on Gab. Let me know your Discord chat name. Now, usually in this part of the broadcast, I usually have some banter about some things that I want to discuss. But we have so many things to talk about on the agenda today that I'm just going to jump right into the financial markets right now. I'm just going to jump right into it because we've got too many damn things to discuss today. I mean, we got everything from, obviously, the Supreme Court made some rulings. We're going to talk about the president. We're going to talk about John Bolton heading to Russia. Obviously, Justice Anthony Kennedy is retiring. Republicans had a major fail on immigration. The Department of Homeland Security is warning their employees to lock their doors and windows because of the anger over the Trump immigration policy. We're going to talk about somebody by the name of Joel Davis, who worked for the Hillary Clinton campaign in 2016, who just got recently busted for pedophilia. We're going to talk about that guy. We're going to talk about the European Council President Donald Tusk telling the EU that they need to prepare for the worst-case scenarios because of our President Trump. Stupid Euro cucks. We're also going to talk about desperate Angela Merkel. Angela Merkel! She's out there trying to make a deal about the migrant situation with the EU before her government unravels and her reign as chancellor is no more. We're going to talk about the reports coming out of North Korea that, as opposed to it denuclearizing, alleged reports are saying that it's upgrading its nuclear site despite the summit in Singapore. We've got Iran basically bowing down, saying they want to keep the Iranian nuke deal intact with the European Union. We're going to talk about that, and at the end of the broadcast, folks, towards maybe the third hour of this broadcast, we're going to discuss something that I was going to talk about this past broadcast on Monday, but I decided to just, let everybody, have their Monday, their bad case of the Mondays, and talk about it on Wednesday. I'm talking about the globalists. Right now, they're against the ropes. Why? Because we're seeing a nationalist revolt. Not to mention, you've got Donald Trump in charge of the most powerful country in the world, throwing a monkey wrench into their globalist engine, and these damn globalists don't know what to do. They don't know how to react. I mean, you even had Jacob Rothschild come out recently and say in an interview that Donald Trump is destroying the New World Order. Now, as I've stated many times, this whole globalist that was once called a conspiracy, remember 5 years ago if you said the word globalism, if you suggested that there was a globalist cabal trying to have a one-world government, you were called a conspiracy theorist. You were called loco. Now you've got people that are unadulterated globalists that are proud to say they're globalists now. The conspiracy is now out in the open, and they realize, these globalists realize that the general populace of the world knows about their plans. They know about their unscrupulous activities. They know about the coercion on a worldwide scale. They know about their agents or their ideologues, whatever you want to call them, that have infiltrated each and every one of our country's governments, etc. And they are not going to go out without a fight, lest we forget that this whole globalist idea is at least over 200 years old. These people have been trying to globalize the world for a very long time, and they and their posterity have been very persistent and loyal to this plan. And I'm going to be completely honest, had Hillary Clinton been elected president, we would be witnessing the final stages of the end plan of globalism. But like I had always said, America, as corrupt, as criminal as Washington, D.C. swamp is, if enough American people get together behind one person, one idea, one policy, the government cracks. And the proof that the people still have somewhat leverage over this government is the election of Donald Trump. The fact that the deep state and these asshole swamp heads in Washington, D.C. had to allow Donald Trump to be president is proof that the American people still have power. We still have the power to capitulate this deep state, this damn government. Hence, why do you think that the upper echelons of the judicial branch at the Department of Justice and the FBI were conspiring in an attempt to remove a duly elected president? They had to make it look in bureaucratic legal ease. They had to make it look justified to remove Donald Trump from presidency. And now that plan is being exposed. The American people are learning the depths of corruption at the deep state level. Unelected bureaucrats attempted to usurp the American people's vote. And this should piss everybody off. It doesn't matter what side of the political spectrum you lie on. But anyway, folks, once again, at the end of the third hour, or towards the third hour, we're going to discuss the globalists are now planning to unleash biological weapons in the world, all parts of the world, in an attempt to cause a global pandemic to justify a totalitarian rule. We're going to talk about the different viruses that they are now unleashing. They're all around us right now, folks. People are dying in parts of the world of made-up, man-made biological viruses, diseases, and ailments. And we're going to talk about it, folks. We're going to talk about it. It's going to be very scary. And I was talking about this last night with the True Capitalist Radio chat room. And as I was discussing it, you had all kinds of people just dropping off the True Capitalist Radio chat room. They didn't even want to hear this scary stuff. They're like, dude, Ghost, I don't really want to hear this, man. I'm coming in, I don't want to hear this. It's making me depressed. It's scary, and I don't even want to think about it. Oh my God, I just don't even want to think about it. Well, you better start thinking about it because it's happening. It's happening, all right? Anyway, that's going to be the agenda for today. So right off the bat, we're going to go right into the financial hour. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about cryptocurrency, shall we? Now, folks, we have seen yet another slight contraction in the cryptocurrency markets, and I think you all know why at this point. If you take a look at the dollar spot index, it is up over 0.5% today. The dollar index of the United States dollar is up 0.65% on the day today. And what have I said to everybody out there who's listening? There is a direct correlation with the U.S. dollar going up in value and cryptocurrency going down in value. So once again, here we have the dollar spot going up 0.65% on the day, and that's why we're seeing, once again, slight contractions on top of the already been contracting cryptocurrency market. Now, aside from the dollar bringing down these cryptocurrency markets, we are having a lot of hacks in big-time exchanges. We talked about it on Monday, the Korean exchange BitHum, that is B-I-T-H-U-M-B, BitHum. This particular exchange got hacked $30 million in cryptocurrency. But they insist funds are safe. They insist that funds are safe, but I don't know about that. We shall see. And not to mention, folks, today, Binance, which is another huge Korean exchange, and both of these exchanges, these are hardcore exchanges. They put in a lot of volume into the damn cryptocurrency market. They put out a warning of risk. And look, there's a lot of confusion going on whether or not Binance got hacked, or if they did get hacked, or they didn't get hacked. But the warning of risk that they gave their users is something to be concerned about, and that's another reason why you're seeing sell-offs. Because, lest we forget, folks, there's a lot of investors in the cryptocurrency markets, and many of them like to leave a certain amount of cryptocurrency on an exchange so that if there ever is a pull-up on a cryptocurrency or a contraction, they could just go into the exchange and be able to trade it instantaneously, no big deal. But if you leave your damn cryptocurrency on an exchange and the damn thing gets hacked, what are you going to do? And that's what really spooks the market whenever there's a hack of this capacity, especially on these volume leaders, these Korean exchanges, which produce most of the volume out here in the cryptocurrency market. If these guys are getting hacked, you got a lot of people in the cryptocurrency market that are going to get spooked. They're going to take their money, or their crypto, I should say, out of the exchanges and put it in their independent wallets. And as a result, that affects the market, folks. That completely affects the market. And you're seeing it. You're seeing it in the contractions. And you're seeing it here in the past like 2 to 3 months. So let's go ahead and get to the market cap of the entire cryptocurrency market. The market capitalization for the cryptocurrency market is $249 billion right now. $249 billion market capitalization for the entire cryptocurrency market. So, like I said, man, we're out here at about 250 billion. Lest we forget, this past January, we were as high as $800 billion in cryptocurrency market capitalization. So there are bag holders from $800 billion to $249 billion. On top of that, folks, we are now starting to see the slow integration with cryptocurrency and the legitimate Wall Street investment platforms. You're seeing the integration of cryptocurrency in the stock platform Robinhood. You've got all these different variants of investment firms that are trying to integrate cryptocurrency into their platforms. Once this happens, and I'm glad that other people that are in the cryptocurrency world that have created coins agree with this, because it's simple economics. Once they come aboard into the cryptocurrency investment world, this damn market capitalization of cryptocurrency right now, $249 billion, is going to go up into the trillions. The trillions. And that's why I'm telling each and every one of you, buy and hold, especially you young people. I mean, this is your age. This is your time right now. What cryptocurrency represents is a complete digital miracle. Because aside from it completely making the central banks useless, it's a new technology. Blockchain technology has revolutionized the way not only are we going to conduct business by exchanging goods and services for cryptocurrency, but applying blockchain technology to other decentralized applications. Taking out middlemen type of services like Uber and, Grubhub. I don't mean to single out those companies, but, they're third-party companies in which, in Uber's instance, they connect the driver to the person that needs the ride, and because they made the connection, Uber takes a cut. So the idea of cryptocurrency and blockchain technology integrated eliminates this concept of middleman type of service. And that's where we're headed into, man. That's why I keep telling each and every one of you about the coins that I cover on this broadcast. They're going to be around for 5 to 10 years, minimum. I mean, and that's what you have to look towards. Remember, this is technology. You can't think 30 or 40 years in technology. You've got to look at 5 to 10 years and whether or not there's going to be continued growth, whether or not there's going to be continued advancement on that technology. And this is why it's very important whenever I make any kind of assessment on cryptocurrency to know what exactly is given that cryptocurrency value. And for all the listeners of this broadcast, you know that the value is in the technology. That's what it is. And speaking of technology, don't mean to be promoting one of my biggest holdings, Quantum, QTUM, but it recently, and I put out the report on Gab, if you're following me on Gab, you must have gotten the report, that they are moving away from the Ethereum-based virtual machine, which allows smart contract technology to be possible. They're moving away from the Ethereum virtual machine and transitioning into the x86 virtual machine, which is their own technology, Quantum. And the reason that they're moving from that is for those that have either been application developing or developing smart contracts under the Ethereum virtual machine, you recognize that there's a lot of bugs, a lot of kinks, a lot of security stuff. You can only program smart contracts in one language, Solidity. But in the x86 virtual machine, it provides not only scalability but reliability to the new smart contract technology that QTUM is going to be emphasizing. Not to mention the decentralized apps, or the new DApps, Remember, you heard it here first. DApps are going to be able to be programmed outside of just Solidity. I mean, you're going to have the ability for programmers who are proficient in C++ and other languages to be able to use those languages, integrate smart contract technology through the x86 virtual machine, and be able to create decentralized applications. So that's what I'm telling you, folks. It's about technology. That's what's going to guide the value of cryptocurrency in the future. And that's why I'm telling each and every one of you, Quantum is my biggest holding, because that coin is not only the future, but right now is dominating Asia. And I don't know if you heard about the latest Ethereum billionaire, one of the co-creators of Billionaire. He likes Quantum. He's eyeballing Quantum, and he said, look, this is the next coin right here that's going to be, beyond what Ethereum was, etc. So if you're listening to this broadcast, and I know a bunch of people in the inner circle are big time rollers. All right, big time rollers of Quantum. I mean, we've got people that have 1,000 of them. We've got people that have 800. There's people that call themselves the 500 Club. You know, and I'll guarantee you, once Quantum goes up to the $500, I mean, who knows? The sky's the limit with Quantum. We're basing the price on Ethereum's trajectory. Like Ethereum's trajectory at its highest point was almost at about, what, $1,200? So I'm not even going to give it that much. Let's just be conservative and says it only goes up to $500 or $600. Well, if you happen to be in the inner circle and you own about 500 of these, 500 times 500, you a very rich son of a bitch. All right? And this is where the genuine wealth, new wealth, is going to be emerging from. And that's why I keep covering cryptocurrency. I'm trying to let every one of you know this is where the next group of wealthy individuals is coming from. And you should be a part of it. Even if you're not a part of the big wealth, get yourself a piece at least, man. You know what I mean? I mean, even if you can't afford like big, large sums of crypto, just get whatever you can, hold it, and, you know, at some point when these damn markets start flourishing, and believe me, once this next run on crypto starts running, it ain't going to stop. It ain't going to stop. So right now is the time to buy and hold, and like I've always said, folks, long-term investment reigns supreme. Long-term investment reigns supreme. I want that beaten in your head, because patience brings the biggest generous yields. Patience. Patience with anything. It's like the farmer, you know, has to have patience with its crops to produce the best and most quantifiable yields. And that's what you have to be. I mean, it's just like Warren Buffett. Look, I don't like Warren Buffett. I think in his old age, he got a little corrupt, got a little long in the tooth. But either way, you know, he's rich enough to do that now. How he became the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 richest men in the world, he bounces around from 3 to 1 to 5. The reason he became one of the top 5 richest men in the world was exclusively through stock trading. Exclusively through stock trading. And his philosophy is that he's not going to invest in anything that he is not going to hold for at least 10 years. 10 years. And it's that long-term investment strategy that made him the rich man that he is today. So once again, man, I mean, I hate to keep reemphasizing this, but you need a little patience. Sometimes, folks, and look, I'm going to be talking to you from firsthand experience. Sometimes fast money is not the best money. And the reason I say that is because just because you're getting fast money today doesn't mean that that fast money is going to continue on indefinitely. So what you should do if you ever come across fast money is not expect that type of fast money to continue to come in on an indefinite basis. You need to use that fast money and enjoy yourself. Don't get me wrong. I mean, live a little lavish, but take a little bit of that and put it back in your long-term investment nest egg. Believe me, you always need to save. I mean, take a look at Johnny Depp, all right? I hate to bring this stupid mumser up, but this guy is flat broke. He's in bankruptcy court right now. He doesn't even know how he's going to pay his fucking debts. This guy's in complete shambles. Amber Heard fucking bit him and chewed him up and spit him out. And he's just he's a complete derelict now, man. He's broke. He's flat broke. I think he's doing like guitar work now with Marilyn Manson. He's so fucking broke. But you see, you would think, right? Johnny Depp, how the hell could he be broke? This guy made all kinds of movies. Pirates of the Caribbean alone should have kept him alive and should have kept him with enough money to be rich forever, right? Folks, when you stop working and money stops coming in, and or your lifestyle supersedes your lifetime earning potential, that's when you're in trouble. That's when you're in trouble, man. And to think that, I mean, Johnny Depp, he's been a spoiled brat ever since he was a kid. I mean, lest we forget that his first movie was Nightmare on Elm Street, the original one, the first Nightmare on Elm Street. Remember that? Little kid, Johnny Depp. Then he had that one sitcom, 21 Jump Street, and then the kid just started acting in movies all over the place. He's been making money ever since he was a kid. I think I read he made close to $400 million in his life, and he's flat broke. He's flat broke. That's why I keep telling you, folks, fast money doesn't necessarily mean that it's fast money indefinitely. And I think it was said by Daryl Hannah in The Wall Street One, right before she's about to leave Bud Fox, close to the end of the movie. She says, and I'm paraphrasing, it's better to have no money at all than to have money and lost it. And I agree. And that's why I warn each and every one of you that are capitalists and that are making money, don't live beyond your means. Do not live a lifestyle beyond your means, because the only one that's going to enjoy it is you, but everybody surrounding you that's observing you enjoy it is going to hate you. And even if they're your family, your friends, they ain't going to like the fact that you're out there living lavish. Nobody likes seeing anybody living lavish. But once you start retracting or rolling back that lifestyle, those folks that you thought were your friends and your family are going to be the first ones to ridicule you and sarcastically snide you every time you're around. Believe me, I've seen it firsthand with business people, man. I mean, they're living lavish, they're making money, and then all of a sudden the money dries up. They don't have money coming in, and their lifestyle takes a step back, and, people make fun of them. People, oh, yeah, what happened? I used to be the high roller. What happened? Oh, I thought you were going to be some big shit for life. Believe me, there's nothing more humiliating. And I've seen it, man. I've seen people humiliated firsthand. I mean, it's a thing to do when it comes to people that live lavish. Because you have to realize when you're flossing and living lavish, you're hurting people's feelings. I know you're having a good time, but you're hurting people's feelings. People's feelings are getting hurt, and they don't like it. You could be bawling, and you could even be allowing them to partake in your ballingness. You can even allow them to partake in your lavish living. You can buy them drinks. You can buy them food. It doesn't matter. Their fucking feelings still get hurt. And as a result, these people will be the first ones there to laugh at you, to ridicule you, to be sarcastic to you once you can no longer afford the lifestyle of lavish that you were flossing at one point in time in your life. So I didn't mean to get off on that soliloquy about this, but it's very important. Do not live beyond your means. Okay? Because once you can't afford it, everybody and their brother is going to be like, ha ha. I'm not kidding. I've seen it firsthand. It's sad. Anyway, let's go ahead and cover some cryptocurrencies here. since we're talking a little bit about cryptocurrency. Let's go ahead and go with Bitcoin once again. Now, like I said, folks, I think we're going to see one more run on Bitcoin, even though I think it's pretty much of a worthless coin at this point. The only thing keeping this coin valuable is the over-speculation. The over-speculation that's happening on this. And I think it's going to continue to be over-speculated because of, and I've said this time and time again, the top-of-mind kind of advertising, marketing that Bitcoin has with cryptocurrency. Whenever you ask somebody about cryptocurrency, first word comes out of their head, Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Bitcoin. And because of that top-of-mind type of, top-of-mind type branding, for a lack of a better term, is the reason why you're going to have over-speculation, I think, for another year or so on Bitcoin. So, I mean, we're waiting for a bottom on Bitcoin here. I think that we may be at it, but who the hell knows? Anything can happen. But I know we're going to make a run up on Bitcoin, possibly into the $13,000 or $14,000 range before it starts contracting again. And then when that contraction happens, I don't think we're coming back. Because there's too many coins out here with better technology, quicker transaction speeds, lower transaction fees, etc. I mean, there's a lot of things that make Bitcoin obsolete at this point, but the market is still growing. And because of the branding that Bitcoin represents, I think we're still going to see over-speculation that could bring a rise in this cryptocurrency. But am I a buyer for it? No. I'm just giving you all the information so that you can assess it and maybe or potentially not make a play when it comes to this crypto. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. BTC is the symbol for Bitcoin. Market capitalization is $105 billion market capitalization. The circulating supply is 17.1 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, it has gone up slightly, 0.42%. Current price for Bitcoin is $6,156.18 per Bitcoin. Let's get to Ethereum. Once again, folks, Ethereum, there's a lot of kinks that need to be worked out in the virtual machine of Ethereum. That's why you're having Quantum creating its own x86 virtual machine, which acts as a virtual operating system for smart contracts. And this is what's going to give smart contracting through Quantum, QTUM, more security, more flexibility, more reliability, because Ethereum still has a lot to work on. And you know what's sad about it is the technology is so complicated that not too many people understand that even though Ethereum, it's Ether, it's fast, it's got low transaction speed or low transaction fee, and it's got smart contracts. It's got smart contracts. Yeah. Have you done anything with a smart contract of Ethereum yet? Exactly. Except that, what is that, kitty picture crap? That's the only smart contract that little kitty picture garbage. So, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, this is... I'm worried about Ethereum here. I want to be honest with you. I think that we'll see another run once again, but I'm not a long-term investor on Ethereum at this point. I mean, they need to work out the kinks in their technology. Even one of the developers quit the Ethereum team saying that the people in there are incompetent. I mean, you can read that up. Look that up for yourself. I'm not kidding! But with that being said, you want to go where there could be a potential play. And like I've said about Ethereum, I think we're going to see another run on this son of a bitch. We've got people holding the bag on this thing all the way up until about $1,100. So you know you're going to see some kind of run. But another thing that I'm concerned about, at the rate at which Ethereum is mining itself is a little quick as well. There's a lot of circulation, so I don't know what the hell's going to happen with this. I know there'll be another run because this is the second on the top of the mind of people in cryptocurrency. This is another branding play because everybody understands Bitcoin, Ethereum. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. ETH is the symbol for Ethereum. The market capitalization is $44 billion market capitalization. Now, take a look at the circulating supply for Ethereum, folks. 100 million. 100 million in circulation. ETH. In the past 24 hours, ETH has gone up 1.35%. Current price for Ethereum is $442.12 per Ethereum. Now, once again, we may see another run on this. As a matter of fact, I'm certain we are. But after that run's contraction, I don't think this one's coming back. I mean, there are other coins out here, folks, I'm telling you, that have better technology and that are faster and are cheaper, and I think people need to start looking to those, if you want my opinion. Long-term investment. Let's take a look at Bitcoin Cash. You know I like Bitcoin Cash, and the reason is it could be a viable alternative to fiat if it can keep itself under $2,500. If it could keep itself under $2,500 and fluctuate from $2,500 to $1,800 to $2,500, if it could fluctuate from those prices, I think that it's a viable alternative for fiat currency. It's a faster transaction speed, cheaper transaction fee, etc. It's literally what Bitcoin was, but faster and quicker and cheaper. Let's take a look at Bitcoin Cash. Now, I'm not a long-term investor on this one. Like I said, I like to hold on to this one for about 5 or 6 months at this point and wait, because I think that we could see another pop on Bitcoin Cash. We've got people holding the bag on Bitcoin Cash as high as $3,000. So, you're going to see another run on this one. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Bitcoin Cash, BCH, is the symbol. Current market capitalization is $12 billion market cap. The circulating supply for Bitcoin Cash is 17.2 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Bitcoin Cash has gone up 0.68%. Current price for Bitcoin Cash, $713.84 per Bitcoin Cash. Let's continue, shall we? Let's get to Litecoin. Now, once again, I kind of like Litecoin at these prices. I'm a buyer. I'm going to be honest with you. At these prices right now, or if it gets a little lower, I'm a buyer of Litecoin at this point. Because lest we forget, folks, y'all remember when everybody, especially you Litecoin hardcore holders, y'all remember when everything was going up, when you saw Dash going up to $500-600, you saw Zcash going up to $500-600, you saw everything going up, and here was Litecoin slowly going up like a fucking tortoise in the hair, a little slow. Oh, I'm Litecoin. Here I go. And it got slow and slow until one day the son of a bitch went up to $150, and then Charlie Lee ended up being on CNBC, which I gabbed out, by the way. I gabbed out like, look, Charlie Lee is on CNBC. Watch for Litecoin's price to go up, and then it went from $150 to like $270. So you got a lot of people holding the bag up until that high, like $300, $275. So I'm a buyer on Litecoin. I'm a buyer. Right now I'm a buyer. I think this is a buy right now. Even if Charlie Lee's a fucking spurg. Let's take a look at Litecoin. LTC. Current market capitalization is $4.5 billion market cap. The circulating supply is 57 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Litecoin has gone up 3.55%. The current price for Litecoin, check it out, $80.37. $80.37. I'm a buyer on this one, man. I'm a buyer. Unless we forget, Litecoin's been around. It's also got its own branding. There's a lot of people that know about Litecoin. Litecoin is very, very fast when you transfer it. Once again, low transaction fee, and it's a viable alternative to fiat. It's a viable alternative to fiat. Let's continue going. All right, we've got Monero. Monero has been running even during the contractions, folks. All right, now I have no idea. I know there was a hard fork intended for Monero. I think, what was it? Monero and Dogecoin or some shit, right? Weren't Monero and Dogecoin supposed to like fuck or something, and then out comes some new fucking coin or something? I don't know. Whatever it is, I like Monero just as a short and pattern trading play. I am not a long-term investor in Monero. I'm sorry. I am not a long-term investor. I don't give a shit what anybody says about the so-called privacy. It is bullshit. All bullshit. I am not a long-term investor in Monero. Now, if you're a short-term pattern trader, this is one for you. All right, this is it. All right, let's take a look. We got Monero XMR. XMR is the symbol. Current market capitalization is $2 billion market cap for Monero. The circulating supply is 16 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Monero has gone up 5.84% on the day. Current price for Monero is $128.90 per Monero. That's XMR, the symbol. As a matter of fact, somebody in the chat room has just enlightened me, thank you very much, Stagio, that the hard fork has produced something called Monero V. Monero V. Since you brought it up, is this shit already trading? Let me check a look at it. XMV is supposed to be the symbol, and no, it's not out yet. So I guess it's coming. I guess that's why we're seeing such runs on Monero. We saw it in the plus side during the contraction, so it makes a lot of sense. So keep your eye on that if you're a Monero investor. That's something for you to keep your eye on, etc. All right, let's continue going. Let's get to Dash, folks. DASH is the symbol. Current market capitalization is $1.8 billion market cap. The circulating supply for Dash, which I like, is very attractive and very low. 8 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, it has gone down slightly, 0.38%. Current price for Dash, $229.20. $229.20. Let's go ahead and take a look once again at my holding. All right. My holding, for Christ's sake, my favorite holding is QTUM Quantum. And I'd like for you all to take a look at the chart on Quantum. It looks eerily similar in time and trajectory to the last time it went up from like $10 all the way up to $103. Take a look at that chart. I mean, there is a direct correlation with the trajectory on this, and I think a huge spike on this is coming. I think it's coming. I think it's coming, baby, and that's why I'm giddy, man. I mean, the Inner Circle, many people in the True Capitalist Radio chat room, we have been accumulating this as much as we possibly can, especially during the contraction when this damn thing was down to $7 and change. I mean, we got another 100, another 200. I mean, we were out there buying up Quantum, man. And if you want my opinion, I still think these prices are great. These are great prices. Let's take a look at Quantum right now. Symbol QTUM is the symbol. Current market cap is 787 million in market capitalization. The circulating supply is 88 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Quantum has gone up 4.26%. And I also want to remind everybody, in the past couple of days, Quantum has stayed on the plus side, even though everything was contracting. And the reason it's staying on the plus side, folks, is because this transition from the Ethereum-based virtual machine to their own x86 virtual machine is going to completely revolutionize the coin. Not to mention, Quantum, they're looking to roll out 50,000 nodes all over the world so that it can make the transaction speed even that much more faster. I think Ethereum has 25,000 or 30,000 nodes. I think Bitcoin has got about 15,000 nodes. So this will be, Quantum is going to make the biggest network in blockchain history. I mean, these guys, I'm telling you, man, this is the coin of the future. I'm not fucking around. It is my biggest fucking holding. And it's a good price right now. It's a good price. Current price is $8.88. $8.88. That's pretty ominous, isn't it? All right, let's continue. All right, let's get to Zcash, another one of my favorites. I'm currently mining that one as we speak. Zcash, ZEC is the symbol. Current market capitalization is $700 million market capitalization. The current circulating supply, folks, is a very, very low 4.2 million. 4.2 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Zcash has gone up 1.18%. Now, this is a dirt cheap price for Zcash, man. I'm telling you this right now, dirt cheap price, $165.44. And let me tell you, Zcash has just hard forked. So the Zcash has adapted a new technology, and the old technology went into a new coin called, what is it called? Like Old Winter or Winter something. I forgot what the fuck the hard fork was called. Hold on, let me take a look and see if I can find it. Let me see what I can find it just to let y'all know what exactly the hard fork is here. Let me take a look at it here. I can't find it, man. I think it's Overwinter. Here it is. Here it is. Overwinter hard fork. All right. Now, that's the hard fork and the culmination of the new coin for the hard fork for Zcash, Overwinter. So, in my opinion, man, I mean, we're at dirt low, cheap price as far as Zcash is concerned, because the current price right now is $165.44. I mean, the highest that this particular coin has been is about $850. And I think that's still cheap, $850. I mean, we had Dash go as high as about $1,200, $1,300. We've got other coins that have reached such trajectories like Ethereum. Zcash has got Wall Street money backing it up. Remember, there's J.P. Morgan that's got a considerable investment in this particular crypto. So, I mean, this is promising. I love this. I'm mining it. I'm hoarding it. I'm not trading for anything. I'm keeping whatever I got in Zcash. I've got a few Zcash whole coins, and I can't wait till they go back to $800, $1,000 again. And it's going to happen, and it's going to happen sooner than you think, all right? Anyway, folks, most things right now seem to be bouncing back, to say the least. I'm looking at the market cap. We're almost at 250. So I think that we're starting to bounce back. So what I'm going to do is just going to cover one last coin, and then we're going to move on to the stock market, because we got a lot of crap. Look at these production notes. Freaking production notes here. We got a lot of crap to talk about, man, all right? Once again, let's get to my second biggest holding, and that is 42 coin, symbol 42. This is our coin, the Inner Circles coin. I'm not even kidding around. This is the Inner Circles coin here, and we own at least a good, I would say almost 5 or 6 of the entire coin when we take all the members and how much they own and how much they're holding, etc. So almost at about 5 coins total that we all own in a cumulative basis. But let's take a look at it. Once again, I like this coin because it's low circulation. That means you're going to see some major swings on it for short or pattern trading play. It is a great long-term investment. And by the way, when you're seeing these major contractions in crypto, this is where you want to put your crypto in so it doesn't lose money. And ever since it's been contracting, it's been in the positive. So these are trading strategies as it pertains to 42 coin. And I would strongly advise people to download the latest wallet. And if you're going to purchase it, put it right in your wallet, save it, and hoard it. Save it and hoard it, man. And look, it doesn't mean that you have to buy a whole coin. I mean, you can buy bits of a coin. You can buy like $20 worth of 42. Just save it and hoard it, because this coin right here, I think people are going to be hearing about it here in the next year or so, and it's going to be for a lot of different reasons. And I'm just trying to let everybody know before everything pops off. You know what I'm saying? Where to get some cash, where to get the Benjamins. Anyway, market cap for 42 coin is $1 million. The circulating supply, once again, for 42 coin is 42. In the past 24 hours, 42 coin has gone up 2.87%. Current price for 42 coin is $24,629.40 per 42 coin. And now that we got that all out of the way, let's go ahead and get to some stocks. I know everybody is anxious. What the hell's going on, Ghost? Well, I can tell you this. We thought, investors thought that things were a little bit loosened as it pertained to this China tariff standoff with the United States. But towards the end of the day, it didn't look promising to the investors, so they're a little skittish. They're a little apprehensive about Trump's tariff talk. And I don't understand why. I have no idea why. Because as I stated, worst case scenario, okay, that we don't trade with China anymore. That means $600 billion that would typically go to them in an imbalanced trade deal with us will just stay here in America. I mean, how is that bad? How is keeping the money here going to cause a depression? I have no goddamn idea. And not to mention, you don't think there's going to be another country salivating for a piece of that $600 billion that was traditionally going to China? No. I mean, of course there are. Excuse me. Of course there are. There are going to be a lot of them. Now, what I'm trying to explain to people is that China has more to lose than the United States. If China, for whatever reason, decides to continue to flex nuts and doesn't want to trade with us or genuinely want to start a trade war with us, their goddamn economy is going to start tumbling down. They're going to start tumbling down, and their house of cards of an economy is going to just wither away. So China has way more to lose. As a matter of fact, everybody that is trying to say that we have no right to renegotiate our trade deals, all of them have something to lose. Like the president has said many times in many of his speeches, that we're the piggy bank over here. They've just been grabbing money and putting it in their pockets, and we've just been like, yeah, okay, you want more money? Okay, yeah. We're not the stupid country anymore, folks. Just like the president said, we're not the stupid country anymore. We're politically and economically awake, and we will not go back to sleep. Do you understand? We will not go back to sleep. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stock market. Once again, Wall Street investors a little skittish about the whole tariff talk. So as a result, you're seeing a lot of them kind of sell off. They're a little skittish. And lest we forget, folks, the dollar was up 0.65% today. Over a 0.5% increase on the dollar. So, it would behoove an investor to cash out and maybe just sit on cash for right now, just as a safety measure, just as a safety play. Let's take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial. It is down today 165.52 points, a percentage decrease of 0.68%. Closing out the Dow at 24,117.59 points for the Dow Jones Industrial. We've got the S&P 500 also down today, 23.43 points, a percentage decrease of 0.86%, closing out the S&P at 2,699.63 points for the S&P 500. We've got the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is also down today. It took it on the teeth today. It is down 116.54 points, a percentage decrease of 1.54% on the day. I mean, good God. Good God. Oh, my God. Closing out the NASDAQ at 7,445.09 points for the NASDAQ composite. Let's go ahead and get to commodities, folks. All right, let's get to commodities. Let's get to energy. Now, folks, did you all see the spike in goddamn energy in the past couple of days? I mean, good God! Goddamn OPEC! Those freaking Arab cartels, man, I'm telling you, they done goofed. They screwed us out of money, man. They're like, we are going to go ahead and increase the production of our production capabilities, yes. And here we are, we're thinking in May, like, oh shit, they're going to fucking increase production. You know what I mean? They're going to increase supply. Holy shit, though. And then June comes around, they have their little OPEC meeting, and they say, yes, we are going to increase production, but not as much as we anticipated. Not as much as you anticipated. You goddamn Arab turban-wearing charlatans, man! Anyway, let's talk about it, all right? WTI sweet crude, folks. Have you taken a look at the prices? I'm telling you, watch your damn gas bill go up and up and up. Watch your damn gas bill go up. Watch, it's going to go up by tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, you're going to see gas go up about at least 10, 12 cents. Maybe even more. I mean, it's ridiculous. I'm not even kidding. Take a look at this. WTI sweet crude, okay? Now, it went down a little bit. It is down 31 cents, a percentage decrease of 0.43%. But take a look at the price of WTI. Listen to this price, $72.45 per barrel of WTI sweet crude. $72.45 per barrel of WTI. Jesus. Oh, my God. Oh, man, you better be expecting your gas bill to go up. You know this, right? You know this. Anyway, let's continue. Let's get to Brent crude. Okay, Brent crude, it is also down slightly today, 22 cents, a percentage decrease of 0.28%. Current price for Brent crude oil is $77.40 per barrel of Brent crude oil. We're headed into the $80 a barrel range, baby. We're headed into that $80 barrel range, man. Let's go ahead and take a look at natural gas, shall we? Natural gas is up 0.34%. Gasoline is down 0.63%. I guarantee you that's not for long. And heating oil is down 0.38%. Let's go ahead and get to the metals, shall we? The metals! Let's get to the goddamn metals! Now, what's very interesting here is that you would think you're seeing all this down. You're seeing all this in the red. You're seeing uncertainty with the tariff talk. You're seeing down in the equities markets. Traditionally, you would see metals up. In times of economic uncertainty, metals goes up in value. And we're not seeing that right now, which is very, very interesting to say the least. So let's take a look at it. Gold is down today, $1.80, a percentage decrease of 0.14%, closing out gold at $1,254.30 per troy ounce of gold. See what I'm saying? Look at silver. Silver is down today, 9 cents, a percentage decrease of 0.57%, closing out silver at $16.15 per troy ounce of silver. We've got copper down today, 0.30%, and platinum is down 0.05%. Let's go ahead and get to agriculture, shall we, folks? Grains, corn is down 0.21%. Wheat is down. No, we should see nothing but red, because remember, the dollar is up 0.65% on the day. We should see nothing but red, except where commodities traders think there's going to be scarcity. So, once again, corn is down 0.21%. Wheat is down 0.15%. Oats is down 0.82%. Rough rice is down 0.26%. Soybean is down 0.14%. Soybean oil is down 0.17%. And canola is up. It's up 0.96% on the day. Let's get to the soft, shall we? Cocoa, it looks like maybe the Ebola may be wearing off, because cocoa is down 3.72% on the day. Good God! We've got coffee.
Hey, dude, just don't talk to me, okay, dude? Don't talk to me unless I have my coffee, okay, dude? Yeah.
Shut up, you damn hipster fruit. Coffee is down 0.21%. Sugar is down, Jesus Christ, 3.21% decrease on the day for sugar. I mean, good God. Orange juice is up 0.66%. Cotton is up 0.43%. Lumber is down 1.70%. We've got rubber. Rubber is up. It's the summertime, baby. Everybody's using condoms. Of course rubber's up. Rubber is up 1.96%. 1.96% on the day. Ethanol is up 1.27% on the day. Let's get to livestock, shall we? We've got live cattle. It is up today 0.29%. We've got cattle feeder down today 0.22%. And once again, folks, I hate to keep reiterating this, but it bears fucking repeating. If you see a fat Snorlax, pig-faced, back-titted ham bone that's hovering around in a damn hover-round in a grocery store or in a shopping mall, all you've got to do is walk by these fat, disgusting pieces of piles of protoplasm and just walk by them and say, ham bone. All right? I mean, this is the ham bone movement. We're trying to make America beautiful again. All right? So help us out and help these fat fucks. Help these fat fucks put the fucking fork down for about 5 fucking minutes by just, don't confront them, don't badger them, just walk by them and say, ham bone. It's as simple as that, all right? Anyway, lean hogs is up 0.40% on the day. And that, my friends, is the markets for your ass, all right? Woo! All right, folks, thank you very much for tuning in with me. I want to thank everybody for listening to the show. I do want to say that it has been a great show, not having to deal with a bunch of tards. You know, not having to deal with a bunch of autism and Asperger's and all that garbage. It's been great. And all the people that are listening to me, whether it's live or in the archive, thank you guys very much for listening to the broadcast. Anyway, we're 2 minutes into the second hour of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And, of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, folks, I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me. Before we get started on anything else, I'd like to ask everybody to please spread this show link around like wildfire. All right, folks, spread this show link around like wildfire and let everybody you know, let them know that True Capitalist Radio is in effect and in the house, and we are live. We are live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast, baby. Type it in your browser, add it to your bookmarks, add it to your favorites. The official website is ghost.report. All right, it's as simple as that, ghost.report. Let everybody you know, baby. That's the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And, of course, if you have not followed me and my only social media on the Internet, I strongly advise you to do so. Go ahead and type in your browser right now and get yourself a free account at Gab, folks, all right? Type in your browser, gab.ai. And once you get there and you got yourself a free account, follow me on there under the name Politics Ghost. All right? Politics Ghost. It's the last bastion of freedom of speech. I strongly advise everybody to get yourself a free account on there. I'm not even joking. Follow me on there under the name Politics Ghost. And by the way, if you want to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, it's as easy as this. All right? Listen closely. You want to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room. All you got to do is go to my Gab account right now, Politics Ghost, and hit the subscribe button for premium content. All right? Hit the subscribe button for premium content, and once you do, private message me on Gab, baby. Private message me on Gab and let me know your Discord chat name. Let me know your Discord chat name, and I will send you a private invitation to the True Capitalist Radio chat room, baby. It's that damn simple. And by the way, I keep getting Gabs about, is there any more Inner Circle memberships? Folks, look, there's like a couple of more, and I'll post that after the end of this show, and then that's it, man. All right, the Inner Circle, we're about to make a couple of business moves now that the contraction in the markets are happening, especially the cryptocurrency markets. We're going to do a bunch of things here as the summer wears down. We're going to get ourselves prepared for the oncoming holiday season to try to capitalize when everybody has money in their pockets. There's a lot of things that we're doing in the Inner Circle, and listen, we don't want any more tards. We don't want any Asperger autists. We don't want anybody who is going to make the Inner Circle immature or an idiotic, buffoonery. None of that stuff. We want mature individuals. We want to stand that, hey, the Inner Circle is about exchanging information. It's about having everyone enlightened about the latest news in cryptocurrency and stock markets and business, etc. And I'd like to think of us as an elite team. We're an elite economic think tank. And many one of us individually have made business deals amongst each other, starting businesses in various parts of the world, baby. And remember, we're worldwide, so, I mean, it's not just, people in the United States. We're worldwide. So, anyway, look, I love bragging on the Inner Circle, man. We've done so much stuff. I mean, the net worth of the entire Inner Circle is well over, I would say, several millions, easy. And I'm proud of these guys. I'm proud of them. I love them. And there's women in there, too. We got Inner Circle women. What's going on to the women in the Inner Circle? And we're balling, man. We're going to kick ass. We are the think tank. We are an organization much like some of these investment groups. Like the Carlyle Group, and these big-time investment groups. I'm very excited. I'm proud of these guys, man. I mean, I cannot stop bragging about them to no end. Anybody who's Inner Circle at this point is elite beyond elite in their demographic. I can guarantee you, man. They know more than most people. All right, and that's not just on an economic end. That's also on a politic, social criticism, all that shit, man. All that stuff. Anyway, folks, we'll, like I said, at the end of the show, I'll gab out something, and if y'all are interested, there's a couple of people that you can. There's like 2 or 3 spots available, and that's it, man. Okay, that's it, man. And not to mention, we have to make sure that we pull forward in a lot of these business ventures in the Inner Circle that we've been discussing. And as a matter of fact, if you're a part of the Inner Circle, let's all get together in the Inner Circle chat room Saturday night. Because I want to discuss some major stuff with you guys, especially you guys that have been investing, you guys that have been 100% dedicated. It's time to make some major money moves, man. All right? It's about time. I'm talking major fucking money moves. Anyway, with that being said, let's go right into the crux of the broadcast here. Let's talk a little bit about the President of the United States and his total victory over policies that went in front of the Supreme Court. Now, first and foremost, the Supreme Court ruled yesterday in favor of the president's travel ban on mostly Muslim countries. Now, did you see the triggering from the leftists, for Christ's sake? I mean, because we, as American people, want to keep our homeland safe from wild Yehudi terrorism that are coming from what the CIA and FBI deem as high-risk countries, because we don't want anybody from these countries coming into our country, we're now Nazi Germany? I mean, do you hear the irrational rhetoric coming out of the left as it pertains to people that attack us? They attack us. I mean, look, folks, I'm not trying to stereotype anybody, but a group is defined by its majority. Remember that, folks. A group is defined by its majority. And, the majority of people that commit terrorist acts for fundamentalist reasons mostly come from the Muslim demographic. Okay? And all President Trump is trying to do is keep these damn Muslim extremists, the guys that Obama was trying to bring in mass, the people that the Democrats are trying to bring in mass. We're trying to stop that, folks. We're trying to stop it. Because we will not be, just like the president said, we will not be a country that's a refugee camp. We will not be France. We will not become Germany. We will not become Sweden. And thank God we have a fucking president that cares about the continuity of America to stop this madness. I mean, folks, these assholes in Congress that are even Republicans still want to open the border for a crack or a little bit maybe a little bit bigger than a crack, to let in more Yehudis, let in more immigrants. What is it with these disgusting, despicable swamp people in Washington, D.C., and their affection for immigrants? I mean, what is this? And I'm not talking about just regular immigrants. I'm talking about illegal immigrants, people who sneak into this country illegally, people who break into our country illegally. What is it? It's not just the Democrats. The Democrats, they care about immigrants more than they care about American people. I mean, I hope that you know that by now. I hope that you know if you vote for Democrats, you're voting for immigrants and criminals. That's your vote right there, and that's you. That's who you are. That's the definition of who you are. But what is it with some of these Republicans that want to insist upon giving amnesty to illegal immigrants, who want to bring in more Yehudis as illegal immigrants? I mean, what is it, man? I mean, we might as well talk about it now. The Republicans in Congress tried to attempt to pass something that they were claiming was immigration reform, but the bills that they were proposing, one of the bills was still providing amnesty for 2.2 million immigrants. What the fuck? What is it, Republicans? I mean, good God, how hard is it to just make a bill to protect the border? How hard is that? I mean, good God, man. This is why, and I hate to keep reiterating this, the 2018 midterm elections are this damn important. That's why they're this damn important, for Christ's sake. We need as many pro-Trump Republicans in power so that we can facilitate and streamline the Make America Great Again policy as quick as possible. No more obstructionists, no more rhino, backstabbing Republican shitheads. We need people that are going to be loyal to the cause here, loyal to America, and not loyal to some globalist edifice that is influencing their political fucking policies. God damn it. I mean, I don't understand. I just don't get it. What is it? What is it? Why do y'all like illegal immigrants? Would you allow people to just break into your home and just allow them to just kind of sleep on your couch, eat your food, watch your TV, take a shit in your bathroom? I'm serious, folks. It is the most it's just disgusting, man, that American people have gotten this whacked out. But once again, the Supreme Court rules in favor of the president's travel ban on Muslim countries, and it keeps us safe from this Muslim invasion that's happening in Europe right now. It keeps us safe. That's the focal point of the entire policy, is to keep America safe. I mean, this is for our national security, folks, all right? I mean, let's be honest. The Muslim countries that are on this travel ban produce massive amounts of wild Yehudis, either willing to blow themselves up or utilize cars as means of weapons to run over people in mass. I just don't understand. I just can't stand for the life of me why, not just Democrats. We already know Democrats are anti-American trash. They don't give a shit about anybody. I mean, they want chaos, divide and conquer. That's why they care more about illegal immigrants and criminals than they do about law-abiding American citizens. So that's why I keep telling you, if you're going to vote for Democrats, you're voting for illegal immigrants and criminals. And that says a lot about you and your character. But I am so glad that the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the president. And, I mean, it's a breath of fresh air, especially after that whole immigration, child separation publicity stunt that the Democrats tried to do. I mean, this is a breath of fresh air, all right? And there's nothing you can do. As a matter of fact, what are these fucking sporadic, neurotic, mentally ill liberals that are out here accosting the Department of Homeland Security Secretary and accosting Mitch McConnell and all these people that are hounding so-called Republicans because of the child separation immigration policy? Are y'all going to do the same thing to the Supreme Court justices? Now that there is a Muslim ban from Muslim countries? Are you sick, disgusting, pathetic, insane, liberal lunatics? Are you going to do the same thing to the Supreme Court justices? I mean, I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting. I mean, because you just can't really understand the rationale of these liberals. I mean, you're out here fighting for illegal immigrant children. And, you know, what makes me sick is that these dumb Democrats and these liberals, they're hooping and hollering about child separation, immigrant child separation, not understanding that, hey, you stupid, neurotic, liberal lunatic, what about the trek that the children had to take to even get to the border? What about the dangerous journey traveling 2 or 3 countries to get to the border? And when they get to the border, they're not going through the port of entry. Folks, if these people were going through the ports of entry, they would not have their child taken away from them. If they were going through the port of entry, they could claim asylum and they could be with their child. It's when they illegally break into our country, it's when they're fucking swimming across the Rio Grande and get caught on the other side, is when these immigrants get separated from their children because they were committing a crime. They're committing a crime. And you know, the Attorney General Jeff Sessions today made a comment. I don't know, it wasn't a joke. I thought he was right on the money. But he was making a comparison to these liberal lunatics that are advocating violence, advocating confrontation with Trump supporters, advocating accosting and harassing Trump supporters because of the immigration policy. Jeff Sessions said, well, you may find yourself, if you take a very, very extreme position, you may find yourself under arrest and you may have your children taken away from you, because that's what happens when you're a fucking criminal. I mean, seriously, folks, I mean, if you go out and rob a bank, all right, you think your kid is going to stay with you? No, you're in jail. When you commit any kind of a crime, your child is going to go to Child Protective Services or whatever organization in your municipality that acts like a Child Protective Service. I mean, you understand, the whole emotional outrage by the Democrats when it comes to this immigration child separation has nothing to do with the children. Because you hear this number, right?
2,000. There's 2,000 children that are separated from their parents. And it's sad, and we're better than this, you know, we're better as a country. This is supposed to be America. We're better than this, America. 2,000 children. We're better than this, America.
Hey, liberal asshole with your crocodile tears. What about the other 10,000 children that showed up at the border with no fucking parents? How come you're not talking about those fucking children? I mean, you all hear this, right? Every fucking liberal talking head is talking about,
oh, there's 2,000 children that are separated from their families. What's going to happen to them? What's going to happen to them?
Folks, there are 10,000 children that ended up at the border, that showed up at the border with no fucking families, no parents, nothing. Nothing. How come the liberals aren't talking about those 10,000 that have no parents, that are in these detention centers and have nowhere to go? How come you liberals aren't talking about those 10,000 parentless children? And I alluded to this on Monday. How come you liberals aren't talking about the 800,000 children that go missing in America every fucking year? Where are you liberals and your goddamn moral soapboxes? Where the hell are you? When 800,000 children go missing every year, where the fuck are you, Democrats? Where the fuck are you, liberals? You all are hypocrites! And that's why I keep telling each and every one of you that listen to this broadcast, that's why spreading the information is the most important thing we can do. That's why I got on everybody on Monday about that's why we need to repost the posts. That's why we need to repost the information. That's why we need to spread the information around every social media, every chat room, every forum post so it can be in the faces of these goddamn liberals. So they can't lie. So they can't deny. So they can't spread false fucking facts. But I can barely get anybody to repost anything, you know? It's just a fucking click. And I'm looking at you people in the damn chat room. You know who you are. Just like,
you know what? I'm not going to repost this. I'm not going to like this because, I don't know, I don't like it.
Yeah, you know what? If you're a real fucking capitalist, you want to move the progress of capitalists forward in this country, you would be just fucking clicking a like or a repost so that the information that's posted on the damn Gab of mine or anybody's that's posting information can be spread to more and more eyes, so it can be put in more and more faces. Fucking pisses me off, man. It fucking pisses me off. Anyway, look, before I get off on any more soliloquies, once again, the Supreme Court rules in favor of the president on his travel ban against Muslim countries. And thank God we have a president that has common sense and realizes how to keep us safe, and that's preventing the enemy from coming into this country. And aside from that, folks, I'm going to be honest with you. For whatever reason, whenever we get immigrants coming in from Muslim countries, whenever we get people coming in from Muslim countries, haven't you noticed that we as American people, as an American culture, have to oblige them and their religious idiosyncrasies and their cultural idiosyncrasies, that we just have to sit there and accept it in our own fucking country? I'm tired of that. I'm tired of that shit. I'm tired of American people that are living the American way of life having to put up with accepting women in hijabs, women in burqas, and have us pretend that that is not a sign of woman oppression. I'm sick of having to, oblige these Muslims having to fucking pray 5 times a day in the middle of a public goddamn shopping center. All right? I mean, how come I have to oblige your fundamentalist and cultural and fucking race idiosyncrasies when you're living in our country, okay? You're living in our country. You should be adapting to our way of life. You should be adapting to our culture. You should be appreciating our Constitution. You should be loving our country. And if you don't, then get the fuck out of here! Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out of here! I mean, how is that racist, first and foremost, that you want all races, all immigrant races that come into this country to oblige our way of life? To oblige the American flag? To stand up to the national anthem? To not show any loyalty to the country or the pissing ground that they left to be in our country? And that's what I don't get, man. I don't get that. And look, I'm not just singling out the Muslims here. I'm talking about like the Mexicans. I shouldn't say all of them because they don't really do that in Texas. Most of the illegal immigrants in Texas, they mostly want to work. It's the Baja Mexican people, the Mexicali people that are pieces of trash. I mean, you've seen them out there during these protests in California. They're waving the fucking Mexican flag. They're putting the Mexican flag on as a cape, and they're out here, Viva la Mexico! And all that shit. If you're all down with Mexico, and if you're flying the Mexican flag in America, then what the fuck are you doing here? What the fuck are you doing here? And why is that a racist thing to ask? Why is that a racist thing to ask? I mean, it makes me sick, man. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of us American people having to oblige other cultures of immigrants and their religious, cultural, and racial idiosyncrasies, man. Why can't you just adapt to the American way of life? And if you can't, then go back to where the fuck you came from. Go back where the fuck you came from, man. This is America, damn it! This is America! Jesus Christ, I can't stand these immigrants that come into this country and refuse to oblige the American way of life. Ugh. Anyway, folks, once again, thank God the Supreme Court has majority conservatives. And by the way, Justice Anthony Kennedy is going to retire. And by the way, the decision to rule in favor of the president's travel ban was a 5-4 decision. A 5-4 decision. So, make that 6-3 in the next round. I'm loving this, man. And let me tell you, that's another thing triggering these liberals. Now that Justice Kennedy is going to retire, that means that we're going to put another conservative member on that bench for life, and that judicial branch is going to be dominated by conservatives. And just like these fucking liberals are taking the president to court for every goddamn fucking policy that the president wants to initiate, we can eventually do that if these goddamn liberals ever take control again. We have at least a branch of the government that belongs to the right wing. And I'm loving it. And I can't wait for the next justice to be appointed. And once Ruth Bader Ginsburg kicks the fucking bucket, I don't know what's keeping this woman alive, but once she kicks the bucket, that's going to be another conservative on that bench. And we're going to dominate that fucking bench for the next 30 to 40 years. Yes! Yes! I'm telling you, winning, fucking winning. That's what the president said. Didn't he say that? We're going to do so much fucking winning, we're going to get tired of it. I am not tired of winning. I am not tired of fucking winning. I am not tired of winning. I am not tired of winning, I can tell you that. I'm not tired. I'm not tired. Anyway, another Supreme Court ruling, and this happened today, folks, and this, once again, hits the liberals right in the goddamn breadbasket. Hits them right in the breadbasket and kicks them right in the keister. The Supreme Court ruled in favor of ending state-enforced union dues on state employees. Now, for you folks that are unaware, there are some states that put it into law that if you're going to be a state employee, that you are forced to pay union dues. And this ruling became law about 40 years ago. As a matter of fact, that's the only thing keeping this public sector union in power. I mean, that's the only thing keeping it existing, alive, is the fact that the state, at the state level, are forcing union dues out of state employees. Now, it's a very interesting ruling here, because it was the Supreme Court that ruled 40 years ago that it was constitutional for states to enforce union dues for its state employees. Well, this ruling here, basically, I think it was written by Judge Alito. It basically said, look, that law was bad then, it's bad now, and now we're rectifying a wrong that we made wrong 40 years ago. So basically, in the ruling, they're admitting that 40 years ago, this idea of state-enforced union dues for state employees was constitutional, was wrong. It was completely wrong constitutionally. It was wrong then, and it was wrong now. And they've just pretty much wiped their ass with that goddamn law. It's just great, man. That's it for Democrats, man. And look, of course, Democrats are crying foul again. They're like, man, that's not fair. You're trying to take away the unions. You're trying to take out unions. It's not fair. No. We're trying to take away illegal extortion of union dues. Because that's what state-enforced union dues is. I mean, you have to pay it or you're going to get fired. It's state enforced. If you want to be a public sector worker in some states, you are forced to pay the union dues. It's state enforced. It's not voluntary. It's not like you can say, you know what, I don't want to join the union. I'll be a scab. Don't worry about it. I don't want to join the union. No, there's no choice. And this was legal. This was law of the land for the past 40 years. It was legal for states to state-enforced union dues for public sector employees, state employees. I mean, I can't believe that this was actually law. I can't believe it. I cannot believe this is actually law. I cannot believe this. But thank God we have a conservative Supreme Court, and they overruled the 40-year ruling, and now it is now illegal for states to force union dues out of state employees. Yes, baby, yes! This is going to be a major financial blow to the Democrats. A major financial blow. Because where do you think they get a lot of these donations? You know, these state-induced union dues, they tell their union members to go out there and donate. You know, they take union dues and donate to the campaigns of these Democrats. I mean, you understand? No more! No more, baby! Oh, my God. I'm telling you, I love the Supreme Court now, man. Oh, my God. I was getting a little scared when Obama was in there, man. I mean, you saw what he was nominating. A bunch of bull-nosed bull dykes. I mean, yeah, what was that? Kagan? Kagan? I mean, she looks like a cross between Chaz Bono and Shemp from the Three Stooges, for heaven's sake. And she's out here setting precedent, for Christ's sake. And who else? Sotomayor. Sotomayor, for Christ's sake. I mean, this broad is so clumsy, she breaks her hip, she breaks her arm, she breaks her ankle. Have you heard about this? She's always falling. And yet she's out here, she's setting precedent herself as well. So, regardless, we have conservatives now on the bench, and now that Justice Kennedy is retiring, we're going to put another conservative on that bench. We're going to dominate that damn Supreme Court for the next 40 years, man. I'm loving this. Oh, my God, I'm loving it. And have you seen all the meltdown on social media from these lefties? Aside from the rulings, they are so upset that Justice Kennedy is retiring because they know that Donald Trump's going to put in another conservative. They're going to put in a young conservative. He's going to put in somebody that's 40 years old that's going to live to 90. Going to live to be 90, baby. Woo! Winning! Winning! And I'm not tired of it, baby. I'm not tired of winning. Once again, folks, the Supreme Court rules in favor of ending state-enforced union dues for state employees. I mean, that is music to my ears, baby. That completely cripples public sector unions. I'm sure that those unions are not going to have any kind of political clout after they're going to lose dues. You know, people are going to be like, wait a minute, I don't have to pay this anymore? You mean I'm going to have I mean, I don't even know how much the dues are, but I know that it ain't peanuts. And I know that people would rather just, keep the money in their pocket than have it extorted from the state and then given to the union. So this is a breath of fresh air. I'm loving this, man. Thank God we have a Supreme Court that's conservative. Thank God. Thank God. Anyway, let's continue going on. We got a lot to talk about here. Did you hear that the White House National Security Advisor, John Bolton, actually flew to Russia and met with Putin earlier today to basically have a talk with him? And out of that meeting, they have culminated a meeting between President Trump and Vladimir Putin. Now, what makes this meeting between John Bolton and Vladimir Putin so weird is the fact that John Bolton has been mad shit-talking Russia for the past 25 years. You know, that's what he does. I mean, he's a foreign policy guy, John Bolton. I mean, this guy knows more about the world than probably about anybody who studies international relations. And he's been very critical of Russia. He's always been very critical of Russia. And here he is. He's meeting with the head of state of Russia, Vladimir Putin, and it seems as if they kicked it off fairly well, that it was a decent meeting. I read the reports out of it, saw a lot of the pictures. I mean, it looks as though Vladimir Putin is, he didn't take offense to the fact that John Bolton wanted him killed at one point in time, and it's just politics, right? It's just politics. It's all it is. It's just politics. But, that's what happened, folks. The National Security Advisor, John Bolton, met personally with Vladimir Putin, confirms that there will be a meeting between Vladimir Putin and the president, and the announcement of that meeting will be on Thursday in a press conference. So be on the lookout for that, all right? Be on the lookout to see where and when the infamous meeting between Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump is going to be. Now, the thing about it is, I hope Trump realizes that we, as the United States, have the upper hand on Russia. Russia right now, domestically, is going through hardcore unrest. I mean, Putin is having to jail all kinds of people because they don't want Putin as their leader anymore. They don't want Putin as their leader anymore. The Russian people have had it. I mean, lest we forget, folks, that Vladimir Putin likes to pass himself off as some kind of a pious KGB commie. But lest we forget that when he threw out the Russian oligarchs, what happened to the money of those oligarchs? When he threw all of the... What happened to the oligarchs' money? It went into the pocket of Vladimir Putin. You know, Vladimir Putin, he is worth about $150 billion, and that's because he stole all that money. I mean, how else did a commie like that, how else can somebody who is a bureaucrat, a head of state, accumulate that kind of wealth when, you know, to be honest, Vladimir Putin has been a public sector employee, at least in the government employed sense, all or most of his life. I mean, remember, he was hardcore KGB before he became the head of state of Russia. So how the hell did he get $160 billion? He stole it. And that's why the people of his country want him out as head of state. They want him the hell out. Get out! So I hope that in this meeting between the president and Vladimir Putin, that the president knows that he has the upper hand on Russia. Russia is very vulnerable right now. I mean, they're playing 2 or 3 sides of the fence. They're so vulnerable. I mean, you know, here they have a supposed alliance with Iran, and Iran is helping Bashar al-Assad in Syria stay in power, yet you have Putin bootlicking Bibsy, Benjamin Netanyahu, and the Israelis. And I'm talking about Putin, is allowing the Israelis to indiscriminately bomb areas of Syria that are highly concentrated with either Syrian forces of Bashar al-Assad or Iranian forces. So, I mean, you know, I don't know what Putin is doing. He's playing like 3 or 4 sides over here, and it's blatantly apparent. It's blatantly apparent. So, like I said, I hope that the president, when he meets with Vladimir Putin, he understands that we are in the position of power and that Vladimir Putin is in a position of weakness because he can barely keep his own people from overthrowing him. And the only reason they can't overthrow him is because, first of all, the people aren't armed. Secondly, let's be honest, he's jailing and killing any adversaries that could be a potential threat to him in any capacity. I mean, you know, Putin is not above going out and killing somebody just to sustain power. Remember, he was a hardcore KGB sons of bitch. You know what I mean? He's down to kill people for communism, all right? He's killed people for communism. So once again, John Bolton, who once mad shit-talked Vladimir Putin in Russia for the past 20 years, went down to Russia, met personally with Vladimir Putin, and confirmed a meeting between the president and Vladimir Putin. And the announcement of that meeting on the place and venue will be announced this Thursday. So keep your ears and eyes open for that one, folks, okay? Now, let's go ahead and get to another subject matter here. I want to talk a little bit about a couple of things. First and foremost, I alluded to this at the beginning of the broadcast, this liberal lunacy, this Democrat lunacy on utilizing this immigrant child separation nonsense as justification to violently confront folks that are either a part of Trump's administration or a part of the Make America Great Again group, or that are pro-Trump or voted for Trump, etc. Where does this lunacy come from? You know that? I mean, where does this come from? Are these people truly psychotic and are truly manipulative, or are they just dumb, right? Well, I'm going to explain that here in the next 30 minutes, folks, so buckle up because I'm going to tell you a story about liberals, okay? Now, first and foremost, the Department of Homeland Security has put out a warning to its employees and told their employees to lock all their doors and make sure to lock all your windows because of the anger over Trump's immigration policy. Now, why would people be getting so angry about this? Do they really think that immigrants, illegal immigrants, not legal immigrants, illegal immigrants, people that have been busted sneaking in to our country, breaking into our country illegally, do they as criminals supersede the rights of law-abiding American citizens? I mean, because that's what this action, this violent confrontation that the Democrats and liberals are conducting, that's what it represents. It represents that the Democrats and liberals who are insisting upon this violent confrontation believe that immigrants, illegal immigrants that break into this country, supersede the importance of law-abiding American citizens. And that's why I continue to say to each and every one of you, if you vote Democrat in this midterm 2018 election, then you are anti-American, you are pro-illegal immigrant, and you are pro-criminal. And that says a lot about your character. Now, let me explain a little bit about the liberal character. And that a lot of the leadership, a lot of the talking heads, a lot of the propagandists, a lot of people in the inner circle of these big-time Democrats, these people aren't dumb. These people are very diabolically manipulative. Now, let me tell you a story about a young man named Joel Davis. Joel Davis. Joel Davis worked for the Hillary Clinton campaign in 2016 as a major campaigner. Not to mention, Joel Davis has spent much of his young life fighting against child sex abuse. He was the co-founder of the Youth to End Sexual Violence organization. And believe it or not, folks, Joel Davis, at 19 years old, was nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. He was nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize for his work as a UN ambassador for sexual violence conflict. This particular area or arena of the UN is also heavily promoted and heavily worked on by Angelina Jolie. As a matter of fact, Joel Davis worked personally with Angelina Jolie for the United Nations as an ambassador for, sexual violence and conflict. Now, why do I bring up this Joel Davis? He seems like he's your quintessential liberal. He sounds like somebody who really cares about the idea of ending sexual child abuse violence, sexual violence in war conflict, etc. I mean, he's got his own organization. He's worked for the United Nations. He campaigned for Hillary Clinton's campaign in 2016. Well, folks, this co-founder of the Youth to End Sexual Violence, this UN ambassador for sexual violence and conflict, and actually worked alongside Angelina Jolie for this, was arrested for pedophilia and attempt to have a sexual relationship with young children. Now, let me explain what this sick son of a bitch was doing. He was actually talking to an undercover FBI informant and was saying that, or actually he was trying to arrange a sexual liaison with a child as young as 2 years old. As young as 2 years old. This guy, and I'm looking at all these reports here, this guy Joel Davis allegedly has toddlers, infants, in sexual positions, conducted in sexual activity, and these pictures were shared to the undercover FBI agent. I mean, they've got this guy. They've got him. And this is your quintessential liberal lunacy, folks. Here's a guy, co-founded Youth to End Sexual Violence, was a United Nations ambassador for sexual violence and conflict, worked personally with Angelina Jolie, all right, worked for the Hillary Clinton campaign in 2016, nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize at age 19 because of his work with the United Nations, all relating to sexual abuse, child sexual abuse, sexual violence and conflict. He gets busted for pedophilia and trying to solicit an undercover FBI agent for a sexual liaison with a toddler as young as 2. He has obviously sexually abused children, according to reports. They've looked on his phone. He admitted that he was having a sexual relationship with a 13-year-old boy. The 13-year-old boy and pictures of him with that boy were on his phone. You can't get any more sick than this son of a bitch. Now, the reason I bring this up is because this is where the mentality of liberals come from. They'll sit here and try to be as virtuous and try to be as moral and ethical as the most moral, high-ground human being you can imagine. They all have soapboxes. They all think that they have the moral high ground. And meanwhile, they are conducting themselves in the most sickest, twisted activity that you can even imagine. And this goes to show you that they are not dumb. They are not naive. I mean, this guy was supposedly trying to grandstand himself as being some kind of person that was against child sex abuse. I mean, was a UN ambassador for sexual violence and conflict for the UN, worked with Angelina Jolie, nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize at 19, and at 22 years old, he's busted for pedophilia. Folks, why does it always come back to children when it comes to Democrats? Huh? Why does it always come back to children? You know, Haiti. What was it? What was the big thing about Haiti? Children. Remember that broad that got busted that was related to or connected? Her organization was connected to the Clinton Foundation. That woman, Silsby, yeah. Silsby, this broad got busted trying to smuggle Haitian children out of the country and take them God knows where. How come it always comes back down to children? I'm just asking, folks. I mean, this is serious business. I mean, this is a guy who literally was supposed to be a spokesperson against child sex abuse, was going to get a Nobel Peace Prize for it, and yet he is conducting himself in the depraved activity that he's claiming to be against? I mean, only liberals and Democrats do weird shit like that. And this is the mind of liberals and Democrats. And by the way, folks, if you take a look, this guy, I believe, was gay, if I'm not mistaken. I've seen a couple of pictures of him wearing the rainbow, little tag there, little rainbow. So obviously he was homosexual. And this goes back to homosexuality. We need to ask, okay, I don't care what you do in your sexual life. But if you're under the age of 16 and you're coming up to your parents saying that you're a homosexual, if my child came up to me and said that, the first thing I'd ask him is, who molested you? Who in the fuck molested you? Because haven't you noticed this is a common theme amongst homosexual men? I mean, remember George Takei, that fucking, Japanese idiot from the Star Trek, Oh my, George Takei. Even he admitted to being groomed by an older gentleman and enjoying it and promoting it, remember? Remember Milo Yiannopoulos? He was supposed to be on our side and a homosexual. He got on Joe Rogan's program and said, oh, yes, I got molested by a priest, but, I liked it, and I think it's okay. As a matter of fact, I think it's okay that older gentlemen groom young men into homosexuality because most young men don't know. They're afraid to bring out their homosexuality, so it's okay for older men to groom young gentlemen into homosexuality. I see nothing wrong with that at all. And, of course, after that statement, it was the downfall of Milo Yiannopoulos. But this is a common theme with homosexuals, isn't it? This is a common theme. I looked up today, Joel Davis, did some research on him. He actually wrote for the Columbia Spectator when he went to Columbia University. And I kind of skimmed through some of his articles. He liked to write a lot about sexual abuse. He liked to write a lot about rape. Like, in a journalistic context, supposedly. I mean, he even alluded to in one of his articles that he himself was sexually abused at age 13. Oh! I mean, did you hear that, folks? Let me tell you that one mo again. He admitted in one of his articles, Joel Davis, this 6-pedophile ex-fucking Hillary Clinton campaigner, he admitted in his article that he was sexually abused at age 13. Now, what does that mean? Now, once again, here we go. We're seeing common connections come along when it comes to homosexuals and them being molested as children. Them being molested as children. And I'm telling you this right now, whenever I see these young children out here that are being promoted in the liberal media and the Democrat media, like this one drag queen that's like 11 years old named Lactasia. I'm not joking, that's the name of this kid's drag name or whatever. Lactasia, as in lactating, as in lactate. It's like an 11-year-old brat in drag, okay? How the hell does this 11-year-old know that he's gay and wants to be a drag queen? How can we all just stop? Can we all just stop and pretend that, hey, this whole gay thing is not an identity. It's how one likes to fuck, okay? And why can't we, as adults, realize that if children, especially under the age of 16, are claiming that they are homosexual, then the first thing that should come to mind is, who molested you? Who molested you? How do you know that you like your prostate massaged with a penis? That's what it is. How do you know that you like things inserted into your rectum? How do you know this? How do you know that you want to be a girl and be bent over bitch style and having somebody ram you like 350 pounds of jackhammer ass in your little twink hole? How do you know this? Unless you've been molested! Unless you've been fucking molested! How do you know this? Once again, folks, I mean, I think this is what is in the back of all these Democrats and liberals. This is what's in all their minds. That's why they're obsessed with children. Oh, the immigrant children. Oh, they're being child separated. Oh, I want to go down and see them for myself. What is it with Democrats and these children? Remember creepy Joe Biden? Him hugging and kissing and rubbing up against those little girls on TV, on C-SPAN of all fucking places. What is it with Democrats and children? Once again, I'm reporting here Joel Davis, and you notice this ain't in the fucking mainstream media, folks. You know, there was only 3 or 4 publications online that were covering this story. Joelle Davis, 22 years old, co-founder of Youth to End Sexual Violence and a UN ambassador for sexual violence and conflict, who worked personally side by side with Angelina Jolie, arrested for pedophilia. Worked for the Clinton campaign back in 2016. This son of a bitch was nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize at 19 for his work with the United Nations. And what makes it even unbelievably psychopath, folks, is the fact that he was promoting the end of sexual abuse of children while he was conducting abuse and sexual abuse of children. Unfucking believable. Unbelievable. This is Democrats for you, folks. This is Democrats. If you vote for the fucking left, if you vote for Democrats, this is what you want to happen to your children. Because they're already doing it. I mean, I remember I covered about 4 or 5 months ago that 9-year-old in New York that's a drag queen that opened up a drag queen club for people under 12. Y'all remember me saying that, huh? Huh? These Democrats want to go after your children. They're trying to sexualize your fucking children. That's what this fucking damn Democrat Party, that's what all these liberals are about. That's what all these liberals are about. They're a bunch of sick fucking pedophiles. They're sick. All of them. It all comes down to children all the fucking time. It all comes down to children. Children this, children that. They want your children. Do you understand this, folks? You know, I've got chaps in Australia that are in the Inner Circle and in the True Capitalist Radio chat room that are telling me that on their liberal state-run network, that they're actually promoting this notion that you as a parent need to have consent from your child to change their diaper. I'm not kidding! This is the kind of liberal, sick, twisted shit that they're trying to shove down our fucking throats on a worldwide basis. That's what these damn Australians have told me, man. They said on their state-run television, they've got a woman on that fucking station, on that network, trying to claim that you as a parent need to have the consent of your child if you're going to change their diaper. You know what that means, right? I mean, that is a step close to whether or not the child can consent to anything. They're giving that dangerous, slippery slope that these liberals and these LGBTQ idiots, they all claim doesn't exist. It's that slippery slope on whether or not your child can consent to sexual acts. Because that's where that slippery... Well, why the hell would they be... Why would they be promoting that in Australia? Why would they be promoting that in Australia? That you have to have consent so that you could change your child's diaper, because they're acting as if child or children or toddlers or infants actually have the ability or the right to consent. And if they can consent or not consent supposedly to a diaper change, then they can obviously, according to liberals' thinking, they can make a consent on whether or not they want to partake in sexual relations. This is what this is all about, folks. I'm telling you. I mean, you people that are Democrats, you people that are leftists, this is what you're promoting. You're promoting pedophilia. You're promoting the decadence of children. You're promoting the sexualization of children. And you people are sick. You people are sick, twisted assholes. And this guy, Joel Davis, and look, go look him up, folks, right now. Go look at Joel Davis, Joel Davis, Davis. 22-year-old, dedicated liberal, hardcore liberal, worked for the Hillary Clinton campaign, started the nonprofit organization Youth to End Sexual Violence, and was a United Nations ambassador. We all know the United Nations are a bunch of pedophiles. I mean, if you don't believe me, why don't you look up UN Sex for Food? All right, that's all you got to do. Put in United Nations sex for food and take a look at all the United Nations peacekeepers, quote unquote, that went out to these impoverished nations and they were in charge of rationing out the food to the people that were hungry. And instead of rationing it out to them, they exploited the children of these impoverished third world nations by exchanging sex for food. Yeah, that's what the United Nations was doing. That's what the United Nations was doing. So, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised this sick maniac was a part of the United Nations. I am not surprised. The United Nations are a bunch of sick, twisted assholes. I mean, this whole international institution was intended to prevent international conflict. But if you take a look at the inception of the United Nations and all the conflict that has happened therein, it's as if the inception of the United Nations has accelerated international conflict. So the United Nations is completely useless. That's why I thank God that we're slowly getting the hell out of the United Nations. I am glad, because this international institution is a fraud, and we, the American taxpayer, have been paying for this shit. And by the way, thank you very much, Goldner Adler on Gab. Let me go ahead and repost this for you people that don't believe me. There it is. There's the article. Ask your baby's permission before changing diaper. Right fucking there! Right there! And look at who's promoting that. Some sick liberal bitch with pink fucking hair. With pink, short fucking hair. Good fucking God, man. Good God! Look at my Gab! Check out my Gab if you don't fucking believe me! Oh, God. Anyway, we're now in the third and final hour of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And, of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, folks, I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me. Before we get started, I'd like to remind everybody to please spread this show link around like wildfire. All right, folks? All right, go to the social media sites, go to the blogs, go to the forums, go to the chat rooms, and spread this show link around like wildfire. If you're listening to my voice, you're listening to the political underground. I am the underground. You're goddamn right. And by the way, I'd like for you all to follow me on my only social media on the internet. And if you don't have a Gab account, well then by God, get one. It's the last bastion of freedom of speech on the internet today. You can get to Gab right now by typing in your browser gab.ai. That's gab.ai. And you can follow me on that social media under the name Politics Ghost, all right? All one word, no underscores. Politics Ghost is the name to follow on Gab. And if you want to join the True Capitalist Radio chat room, folks, we've been having a good time lately. A lot of great conversations. Come down. Come kick back with us. There's over 100 of us, all right? So come on down. All right, you want to join the True Capitalist Radio chat room, go to my Gab account right now. Go to my Gab and click the subscribe button for premium content. All right, click the subscribe button for premium content, and once you do, private message me on Gab and let me know your Discord chat name, and I will invite you, give you a private invitation to the True Capitalist Radio chat room so you can come kick back with us. It's that damn simple. And once again, the official website of this broadcast, the official website of this broadcast, ghost.report. Ghost.report. It's as simple as that, folks, all right? Anyway, let me go ahead and take a drink of water here. That's right, I'm not drinking. Shut up. Good stuff, good stuff. Some high-quality H2O there. Anyway, folks, I'm going to end that. All right, we were talking about Joel Davis, 22 years old, co-founder of Youth to End Sexual Violence and UN Ambassador for Sexual Violence and Conflict. Worked side by side with Angelina Jolie. Worked for the Clinton campaign in 2016. Nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize for his work against sexual abuse against children. At 19, this son of a bitch and liberal piece of trash was arrested for pedophilia. And this right here, this is your poster child. This is your poster child of what your goddamn quintessential liberal really is. All right? It's as simple as that. Anyway, we're going to move on, folks. Let's talk a little bit of international news. Did you hear the European Council President, Donald Tusk, tells the European Union countries to prepare for the worst-case scenarios because of Trump. I mean, did you hear Tusk today? I mean, he's like, we thought we had friends. I thought we were friends, but we are not friends. When we asked America for help, when we asked America for a helping hand, Trump will tell us, you will find one at the end of your arm. And we must prepare for the worst-case scenario. Worst-case scenario of what? Worst-case scenario of what? Because we want to renegotiate trade deals, all of a sudden we're bad guys? I mean, this is stupid, man. I'm telling you, the European Union has a lot of gall to wave their finger in our face when all we're trying to do is renegotiate an imbalanced trade deal, for Christ's sake, man. Jesus Christ. I mean, that's all we're trying to do. And all of a sudden, we're acting like, we just, took a shit and didn't flush the toilet at, their grandma's house or something. I mean, Jesus Christ, man. I mean, once again, European Council President Donald Tusk tells the European Union countries to prepare for the worst-case scenarios because of Trump. Well, you know what? Go fuck yourself, Eurocucks. We don't need you as any kind of an ally. You are a bunch of communist, socialist trash. You people in the EU are implementing totalitarianism on the nation states that are supposed to comprise the European Union. You're trying to usurp the culture, the politic, the sociality, and the goddamn military of each and every one of those nation states that comprise the European Union. And as far as I'm concerned, because I think that we're very, very close of the complete and utter implosion of the European Union. I'm telling you this right now, we are very close to seeing it completely decimated. I'm serious. I mean, they're sitting here thumbing their nose at us. They're trying to wave their finger at us as if we don't have the right to renegotiate our trade deal. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. I mean, where do these European Union pompous asses think that they're going to be able to kind of point their finger at us and tell us that we don't have the right to renegotiate our trade deal? I mean, and these are our allies? These are allies here. These are allies. I mean, just give me a fucking break. I'm sick and tired of hearing, he's isolated our allies. Trump has isolated our allies. How the fuck did he isolate our allies? He's just trying to renegotiate a trade deal, for heaven's sake. A warped, imbalanced one. And just like the president has said time and time again in all his speeches, we're the piggy bank for the world. The world has gotten rich off of American consumption. And it's about time that we even out this trade deal because we cannot indefinitely go on this long. We can't. Good God, give me a drink of water. High quality H2O there. And why do I think the European Union is going to implode? Well, you've got Angela Merkel. That's right. Angela Merkel! I am Angela Merkel. I am control of the EU. I am Angela Merkel. Anyway, Angela Merkel is desperate right now at Brussels trying to work out some kind of a compromise deal for Germany so that Germany can take in less migrants than everybody else in the EU. Now, once again, we've been covering this for the past several shows. Angela Merkel has to come up with some kind of a compromise deal from the EU to bring back to her parliament and say, look, I did a deal. I can stay Chancellor of Germany. Angela Merkel continues to live. But the EU is refusing to budge on any kind of deal as it pertains to the migrants. The European Union wants Germany to continue to take the migrants at the numbers that they're currently taking them in. And we heard the Interior Minister the Bavarian interior minister give an ultimatum to Merkel saying, look, you've got 2 weeks. You've got 2 weeks to rectify this. If not, Slogan, Schliegen, Schlagen, Volkswagen. So that's where Angela Merkel is right now. She's over there. She's trying to, shake hands and kiss the ass of Parliament in Brussels, trying to come up with some kind of a deal. It ain't happening. I think the EU is acting like an obstinate, bureaucratic body, a bureaucratic, unelected body, and they're not going to deal with Angela Merkel. I think it's rather bizarre. And what this risks the implosion of the German coalition government. The German coalition government is going to collapse on itself because they're no longer going to want Angela Merkel as the chancellor, and it's going to break up the conservative bloc. I mean, they're going to call for new elections, and that's the end of Merkel. And that could potentially jeopardize another country wanting out of the European Union. I mean, you already saw Brexit, even though that isn't going very well for the UK chaps over there. I mean, you saw what happened in Italy. Italy is standing their ground. I mean, they're like, hey, fuck you. Fuck you. We're not going to take any more immigrants. We don't want no more migrants. So up your ass. See you. Up your ass. We're not going to take any more migrants. Hey, fuck you with the spaghetti and meatball. I mean, seriously, they are not allowing any migrant boats into their damn shores. They're not doing anything like that. They're saying, get the fuck out of here. We don't want any migrants. Shove a meatball up your ass. Go to Spain. All right, get your fucking ferry away from the boot area of the border of Italia and go to Spain. They will go over there and take care of you. You fucking immigrants. Up your ass. That's what they're doing. They're not allowing any migrants into their home geographic area, into the country of Italy, and they're telling the EU to go screw themselves. I mean, I'm telling you. Woo! I'm telling you, man. And then if Merkel somehow can't come up with a deal with the EU and can't come back to Germany with an ultimatum with say, look, I know, guys, hold on, Bavarians, hold on. I know I was supposed to help and go to the EU to end the migrants, but look, we've got less migrants now. Less migrants are coming in. Less migrants are coming in, so that means Angela Merkel can continue to rule Germany as Chancellor, and that means that Angela Merkel will continue to rule the leadership of the EU. Look, Schlagen, Volkswagen. So we shall see what happens to the EU. All right, they're on the brink of imploding. They're on the brink of imploding. We shall see if Merkel can come up with a deal to save her hide in Germany. All right. Anyway, folks, let's talk a little bit about the reports that are coming out of North Korea. Have you heard about this? North Korea is supposedly upgrading its nuclear site despite the vow at the Singapore summit. Now, of course, this is based upon satellite imagery. We don't really know what the hell's going on over there. That's why we need to kind of facilitate some kind of observers to go into the country and inspect the sites. Now, I don't know whether it's going to be the IAEA or independent people from South Korea or the United... Who the hell knows who it is? But at this point, we need independent verification that denuclearization is actually happening. And I don't think that this is going to deter any kind of peace talks. I think that this is more posturing. Remember, Asian cultures are all about honor. They're all about honor, and you have to work around that shit. I mean, I know it's really stupid, it's really dumb, but that's what they're all about. So I think that this coincides with that cultural divide of honor. I don't think that, Kim Jong-un is trying to pull a fast one. I do not think that. He would be committing suicide if he was going to do something to that capacity. I mean, let's be honest. He would be committing suicide if he was going to do something to that capacity, and he's not. I don't think that he would have trolled the world in that way if he was not somewhat genuine in a reunification of South and North Korea. I think that what he's concerned about is his own safety. I mean, lest we forget, Kim Jong-un, the reason he's even initiating this peace talk and this peace agreement and this denuclearization is because he doesn't want to be the king of some hermit kingdom of a bunch of neurotic people thinking he's a god. He wants to be a player on the world stage. He wants to go down in history as the leader that brought North Korea modernization, that brought North Korea capitalism and prosperity, etc. The thing is that Kim Jong-un wants to rule North Korea for the rest of his life. He wants to, that's what he wants, even though he wants to incrementally change the whole landscape of North Korea and go down in world history as a peacemaker. Remember, he's got a long life. So he's thinking about this in a strategic, head of state sort of way. So I just want to calm everybody's nerves about these reports that are coming out that North Korea is upgrading its nuclear site despite the vow at the North Korean summit in Singapore. I think this is, like I said, posturing. Like I said, the Asian cultures emphasize honor. Their emphasis on honor is huge, and this is probably some more of that gameplay when it comes to honor. And that's my opinion. I honestly believe that. So these reports, once again, are speculation based upon satellite images. We shall see if North Korea will allow independent people to come in and verify whether or not they are denuclearizing or they're actually creating bigger and better nuclear sites. We shall see. I personally believe that Kim Jong-un would be a fucking idiot. It would be the biggest goof of all time if he was going to double-cross Donald Trump. I think he's insane if he thinks he's going to do that. Anyway, I want to get to Iran a little bit, folks. Speaking of Eurocucks, we were talking about 10 minutes ago about the European Council President Donald Tusk telling the EU countries to prepare for the worst case scenarios because of Trump. Well, take a look at what the EU is doing with Iran. Iran, all right, the President Rouhani. This is not the Ayatollah, this is the president. The President Rouhani wants to keep the Iranian nuke deal intact. We talked about this, didn't we? We talked about this. And the demands that the EU are pledging, because the EU wants to keep the nuclear deal open. And once again, I have no idea why. Why do they want to continue this Iran nuke deal? It doesn't even make any sense. All right? It was a dumb deal. Like I said, folks, if you want my personal opinion, it was a payoff. It was a goddamn payoff. I mean, we paid $1.6 billion for the hostages in Iran and then paid $250 billion so that they can, quote, stop their nuclear ambitions. I've never heard of such a thing. I've never heard of such a thing in my life. Like the president said, that Iran nuke deal was one of the worst deals in deal-making history. We got nothing. We got nothing. Iran got filthy rich. Iran got filthy goddamn rich. So, let me explain here, all right? Let me explain what's going on. Let me explain. Hold on. What's going on here? People saying the stream's dead. Stream's not dead. Hey, no, it's not dead, man. It may be on y'all's end, all right? They're saying that it got cut off. Oh, it's the people in the chat room. They relay the broadcast in the chat room, so I'm just reacting to the chat room right here, the True Capitalist Radio chat room. But once again, folks, Iran's Rouhani wants to keep the deal intact, the Iranian nuke deal, and EU is pledging that they're willing to play ball. They are willing to play ball. The European Union is pledging to defend the agreement, to defend the Iran agreement, the Iranian nuke deal, to protect European companies hurt by U.S. sanctions. So what the hell does that mean? Does that mean that European Union companies are going to defy the sanctions by the United States and they're going to continue to do business with Iran? So does that mean the EU is going to undercut our sanctions or not even oblige our United States sanctions on Iran? I mean, this is insane. I mean, what are the Eurocucks thinking? They're going to protect their European Union companies hurt by the United States sanctions on Iran? I mean, what the hell does that mean? What the hell does that mean? That sounds pretty, that doesn't sound pretty friendly. Let's put it that way. These fucking Eurocucks are talking about friendship and having a helping hand. That doesn't sound too fucking European friendly, faggots. All right? That doesn't sound friendly at all. And guess what else they're going to do? They're going to offer financing for Iran's investments. So that means that Iran's investments, they're going to get financing from the EU. You understand what this means? This means that if we, as the United States, said nothing about our trade deal, the European Union gets $160 billion from the United States on an annual basis in an imbalanced trade deal. That means that that money, our money, would be used to finance Iran's investments. This is the fucking Eurocucks for you, folks. This right here is the European Union, and that's why America should just tell this communist experiment, because that's exactly what it is. It's a communist experiment. Tell this communist experiment of the European Union, fuck you! Fuck you! We don't need you! We're America! And all the nation states in the European Union, it's time for you all to rebel. It's time for you to rebel against this unelected, bureaucratic, parliamentary body that usurped your cultures, that usurped your countries, that usurped your economy, that usurped your military. It's time for you all out there in the European Union to raise up. And let me tell you, if the European Union ever falls, I hope the European Union countries hold every one of those assholes that are in the Brussels European Union Parliament. I hope they hold them and give them justice. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, I hope that each and every one of those European countries brings justice upon these sniveling fucking bureaucrats in Brussels. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. Anyway, folks, last but not least, let's go ahead and talk about something I was plugging at the beginning of the broadcast. That the globalists right now are against the ropes. Because Donald Trump is president of the most powerful nation in the world, and because his actions are basically throwing a monkey wrench in the engine of globalism, you've actually got the great Jacob Rothschild coming out and saying, "Oh yes, you know, Donald Trump, he's ending the New World Order by his actions, yes." Even Jacob Rothschild had to come out and admit that the New World Order is crumbling. Now, folks, I'm going to tell you something, okay? If you don't realize that there is a globalist specter, a silent global order that is trying to usurp every one of our countries, that are trying to usurp every one of our sovereign statuses, then you're an idiot. Why do you think they want open borders? Why do you think they want open borders? They don't want countries anymore. They want unions. They want the European Union. Remember, they just made and solidified the African Union. Remember when Bush and Vicente Fox were having these deals with the Canadian Prime Minister at that time, and they created the American Union. Remember the American Union? I mean, this is what these globalists were trying to do. They were trying to consolidate geopolitical areas into mass land masses called unions and centralize all those unions' power under one international bureaucratic institution like the United Nations. Now, that particular plan has been halted. It's been halted big time. Aside from Trump throwing a monkey wrench in the engine of globalism, many of us around the world have become awake and realize this communist globalist specter that is infringing upon our world. And we are trying everything we can to stop it politically, through protests, through getting out of these unions, doing everything anti-globalist possible. And let me tell you, these globalists, They are not backing down. Now, I'm going to warn each and every one of you, if you may be a little sensitive to the information I'm about to tell you, but I can assure you everything I'm about to say is 100% real, and they are about to implement this strategy on the world here within months. Now, what are the globalists planning on doing, folks? Because they are against the ropes, and their whole plan that they've been planning for over 200 years is falling apart. They are now planning for a biological attack on the world, with their biological weaponized viruses and diseases. Now, I know that people are going to say, "Oh, Ghost, you're going too conspiracy theorist now, man. You got a tinfoil hat going on now, Ghost, oh yeah?" Well, buckle up your seatbelt and let's take a ride down some really, really freaked out arenas, shall we? Now, first and foremost, folks, I want you all to know that there have been diseases popping out the woodwork all over the world, even in the United States. You can Google these accounts for yourself if you do not believe me. About 2 weeks ago, they found some girl that happened to have just gotten the bubonic plague in Idaho. Look up girl plague Idaho and you'll see what I'm talking about. We also had another girl contract the Keystone virus. Look up Keystone virus girl and you'll find it. Those aren't the ones I'm really concerned about. I know that people were concerned about Zika. And look, folks, I already told y'all 1,000 times, you can find Zika virus and buy it online. You can purchase Zika virus online. I mean, you know, when the Zika virus came out, they made it seem as if it just miraculously came out of nowhere. You can buy the shit online, okay? But the one I'm worried about, folks, is this new disease that is starting to come out in China. It's already killed close to 1,000 people. And that's called Disease X. Disease X. It's popped up in China, and it is a biological strain of a similar virus or a flu that happened in 1918 called the Spanish flu that killed over 1 million people at that time. Now, according to the World Health Organization, Disease X, because we are so unprepared to deal with such an epidemic that could potentially kill 40% of the world, this is the estimates that the World Health Organization is giving as far as mortality is concerned. 40% of the world could potentially die in this pandemic. Now, I find this rather funny that they're now saying this now. Because back in April of this year, Bill Gates, you know, I'm always talking about Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and how they're inoculating people in Africa, and you all think I'm joking around by that. Folks, Bill and Melinda Gates are the most evil, sickest fucking people on the planet, okay? They don't like you. They want you dead. That's all I'm saying, okay? But Bill Gates made a comment, and you can Google this up for yourself as well. It's many outlets where they covered this. Bill Gates made a comment that there was a disease coming that could kill up to 30 million people. And he said back in April that it's coming within the next 6 months. Okay? So we take a look. It was in April that he said it. So let's take a look at May. That's 1 month. June, that's 2 months. July, that's 3 months. August, that's 4 months. And September, that's 5 months. October is 6 months. So right around the holidays is where Bill Gates, I don't know why he would say this unless he himself has something to do with it, in my opinion. But Bill Gates made the comment in April that a disease is coming that could kill up to 30 million people. And it's coming within 6 months. And believe it or not, you know what Gates' response to this is? He said, don't fret, people, okay? Even though there's going to be a disease that comes out in the next 6 months that's going to kill 30 million people, we're working on it. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is working on it, and we have almost created, we're almost done, a universal flu vaccine. A universal flu vaccine that Bill and Melinda Gates are working on. I mean, come on, man. Come on. Folks, these people are at the bottom of what the hell is going on with all these ailments, viruses, diseases, plagues, all this shit. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and repost right now. I'm reposting the post on Gab. How did an Idaho child catch the bubonic plague? Folks, we're being hit up by biological weapons that are created by these globalists that want to stop our progress in destroying their globalist system. All right? Yeah, that's what Bill Gates said. You know what? Even though there's going to be a disease that comes out in the next 6 months that's going to kill up to 30 million people, I got a pending virus vaccine, a universal flu vaccine that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is working on. So don't worry, guys. I got it all under control. All right? Universal flu vaccine, okay? Hey, and by the way, y'all realize how good I am at my work. I mean, y'all are on a Windows operating system, right? You know how good Windows works. So go ahead and trust me with a universal vaccine. Give me a break. And look, we've got somebody in here, Hoodie, in the chat room. He asked, so they release the virus, then provide the cure? No, that's not what's going to happen, Hoodie, and I'm glad you brought that up. Because aside from all these viruses, I mean, folks, look these up. People are dying right now, and these viruses are not being covered. These viruses, these goddamn ailments, these diseases are not being covered. The Keystone virus, the bubonic, and the Keystone virus is found in America. The bubonic plague that was found in Idaho. The coronavirus is something that I think that you all need to look up. Ebola, which keeps popping up in Africa. Zika, which keeps popping up in South America and Mexico, which is another reason why we should be concerned about who crosses our fucking borders, okay? But folks, aside from these people, aside from these globalists unleashing biological warfare on us, they are also killing any pharmaceutical scientists or doctors that could potentially help or aid in any capacity during this pandemic. Now, and I'm going to be honest with you, folks, doctors and scientists that could combat these bioweapons are being killed or disappearing. The most recent one, did y'all hear about that guy that was camping with his 2 daughters in Malibu State Park that got blown away? And they didn't touch his daughters. They didn't touch any of his stuff. They just killed him and left. Well, folks, that person was named Tristan Baudet, 35 years old, was camping with his 2 daughters and shot to death while laying in his tent in Malibu State Park in California. Now, who the hell is Tristan Baudet? Folks, Tristan Baudet has a patent of technology, of a delivery system technology that puts medication directly to the source of need. You see, folks, when you take a regular vaccine or you pop a pill, when you take things orally or you get a vaccine, it has to run through your whole entire body so that it can get to the afflicted area. That is what causes side effects. Whenever you pop a pill, whenever you take a vaccine, it runs through all your body, and your whole body doesn't need the vaccine. Your whole body doesn't need the pill that is intended to either cure or to, I guess, offset an ailment. So what Tristan Baudet found and has a patent on is something called acid degradable bioerodible modified pilohydroxated materials. Meaning, in layman's terms, he has the patent in which he can deliver any medication in these small microbeads that are bioerodible and acid degradable, meaning that they put this medication into microbeads and inject it in the area in which the medication needs to be directly delivered, so that when it's injected in the area that needs to be, or that the medication needs to be delivered, these microbeads go into the system and immediately degrade and erode, delivering the medication exactly to the ailment in question, instead of having to go through the entire system of the body and causing side effects. Okay? Now, I mean, this is serious business, folks. I mean, this would revolutionize medicine and pharmaceuticals. It would revolutionize the way we take medicine. It could potentially cure diseases like cancer, AIDS, other types of ailments, just on the mere delivery system. And yet this guy, for whatever reason, Tristan Baudet, who owns the patent for this, ends up dead. Camping with his daughters, Malibu State Park, shot to death, didn't kill his daughters, didn't take anything, obviously taken out for a reason. And folks, this has been happening for a while already, okay? Do y'all remember Barry Sherman and his wife? Barry Sherman owned a pharmaceutical company in Canada called Apotex, which manufactured generic pharmaceuticals, undercutting the big boys out there in the pharmaceutical industry, providing cheap alternative medication that's just as potent and just as effective as those on the mainstream lines and these big wigs in the pharmaceutical companies. I mean, this guy was giving out medication to folks that couldn't afford it. I mean, that's what he did. Barry Sherman and his wife were both strangled in their Toronto mansion. They didn't take anything. They didn't burglarize anything. They just killed them both, because both of them owned, technically, this Apotex generic pharmaceutical manufacturer. They found them hanging from their pool railing. So somebody definitely did a hit job on them. And it's because this man, Barry Sherman, and his wife could potentially mass manufacture generic drugs that could potentially aid in some kind of a biological attack by these globalists. Okay? I mean, I could go on and on, folks. I mean, did y'all remember that Malaysian flight? What was it? What the fuck was it? Malaysia 310, whatever the fuck flight was. Remember that one Malaysia flight that just went missing? Remember that? Why do you think that flight went missing? Did you know what kind of engineers and what kind of pharmaceutical experts, chemical experts were on that flight that just disappeared? Did you know that there was 4 people that owned a patent on that particular plane? That patent was worth $400 billion? I mean, there was a lot of people on that Malaysian flight, and the flight just disappeared. Now, if you want my personal opinion, I don't think it disappeared. I think it was forced to land, and those folks that happened to be on that plane, who happen to be brilliant minds, were taken and probably forced to either give their technology or work for either a government, institution, or something of that capacity. So, with that being said, folks, okay, aside from these globalists wanting to implement biological weapons on us, they are trying to eliminate those that are smart enough to combat these biological weapons that they're inflicting upon the mass populace. These globalists are not going to go out quietly in that good night, folks. They're not. And, you know, we're starting to see the beginning of this disease X in China. In China right now, it's already killed close to 1,000 people. And once that disease X gets out of China and goes full pandemic worldwide and starts killing 30, 40 million people, what are the governments going to do? Are we going to live in freedom? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Have y'all ever seen 28 Days Later? I'm not talking about the first one. The first one was a badass movie. It was an independent flick, as a matter of fact. But 28 Days Later was the second movie that came out, which will give you an assessment on what the hell the government would do if some pandemic like that was ever able to break out. Another good movie, Outbreak. Another good movie is Outbreak. It'll show you that what they'll do is quarantine everybody and make sure to fry you, burn you, nuclearize you in an attempt to prevent the virus from spreading that much further. And it's full-fledged totalitarian martial law. So this is their ace in the hole, man. All right? I mean, this right here is their ace in the hole as far as the globalists forcing this whole global order upon the United States. Oh, excuse me, it's called 28 Weeks Later. Not 28 days later, 28 weeks later. But I would strongly advise you to look at that movie as a template on what the hell governments would do if we were under such a pandemic. And folks, Bill Gates, I hate to keep repeating this, but he said in April, you can look this up for yourself. These articles are all over the internet. Bill Gates said in April of this year that there was a virus coming in the next 6 months that could kill 30 million people. Now, how the hell does he know that unless he is the one releasing it? Him and the Melinda Gates Foundation. How the hell does he know? But of course, he has the vaccine. He's calling it the universal flu vaccine. That'll supposedly cure this ailment that's going to be coming out in 6 months. And the reason I'm bringing this up, folks, is I don't want you all being shocked at the depths these fucking globalists will go in an attempt to sustain their power, in an attempt to save their power. I'm serious, folks. I'm not joking. You know, you can be too smart for your own good. You could be so brilliant that you can find a cure for something and be eliminated for it. You could be so good that you can find that, you know, an alternative to oil or gasoline and be eliminated, disappeared, or killed for it. You know, there was a guy, and I told this story yesterday to the True Capitalist Radio chat room, but I'm going to tell it to you guys because it's very important, just to let you all know that governments really act this way, and they do these things. There was a guy that was the bassist to a band in the 70s called the Iron Butterfly. You remember that? They remember that song? In-a-gada-da-vida, honey, don't you know that I'm loving you? Remember that song? In-a-gada-da-vida. Well, anyway, the bassist of that particular band, once the band broke up, went to MIT and became some brilliant scientist and mathematician, and was so brilliant that he found out the code to crack time travel. And this is a true story. You all can look this shit up, man. This happened in the early 90s. And once he found this code to crack time travel, he told all of his family that if something ever happens to me and they say I killed myself, don't believe them. Don't listen to them. And he knew that he was in some major trouble for finding the code to crack time travel. And as a result, folks, one day he just decided to call his father, his wife, and his best friend and talk to them as if he was talking to them for the last time and said, you know I love you, right, Dad? And You know, I've tried to do everything I can for him. I mean, just like a very solemn, very sad, kind of like he was going away type of a call. And then after those calls, he calls into 911 and just says, "Hi, my name is so-and-so. I want to kill myself." And then the phone line went dead, and nobody ever heard from this guy ever since. Nobody ever heard from this guy ever since. Then his story got very popular because it was on the show called Sightings. It was on another couple of shows in which, you know, these types of sci-fi people watch. And people started getting very intrigued by it, to the point where you got independent people trying to go out and investigate and look for this guy. And after 8 years, after 8 years from him going missing, and all these people trying to look for this guy, locate this guy, you've got independent investigators that are trying to find this guy. Miraculously, they find the van that he was traveling in 8 years ago in some fucking woods somewhere, with a skeleton supposedly supposed to be him. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, folks. That's not him. They had to put that there to shut everybody up, to stop everybody from investigating and end the fucking story. But you and I know that what happened to this man is that he either got kidnapped or nabbed by either our government or another government and is forced to work in seclusion, in captivity. You know what a good example of this is? Do y'all remember the doctor, the freak show, gray-haired, long-haired scientists in Independence Day, when the president, once the aliens hit up the United States, the president is whisked away to an area like Area 51. And in that particular Area 51, they had this scientist who's a gray-haired, kind of glasses-wearing, I think his name was Professor Vulcan or some shit like that. I forgot his fucking name, but that doctor right there represents exactly what I'm talking about. Professor Olkin, I think his name was, right? Or Dr. Olkin. Dr. Olkin. But that guy right there is an example of what I'm speaking of, that governments will kidnap you if you're so brilliant. If you're so brilliant, they will put you in captivity and force you to work. And do you remember what that character says to the president when he meets him? He goes, "Wow, the president." As you can imagine, they don't let us out much. Yeah, they don't let you out much because you're a scientist that's forced to work. That's what happens when you're too brilliant in this world. That's why you could be so brilliant, you could be, a danger to yourself. And this is why I'm telling you, folks, that these globalists have taken out some of these people that could help a biological attack that they implement. Just look at Tristan Baudet, man. Tristan Baudet, 35 years old. Take a look at the patent that he owns. A new delivery system for medication. Microbeads that are acid degradable and bioerodible. So you can inject it right into the site where it needs the medication instantaneously, instead of having it go through the whole body, which causes side effects. That could have revolutionized pharmaceuticals. You don't think the pharmaceutical company wanted to stop that? And one more example. Remember Martin Shkreli? Martin Shkreli is another example of somebody who wanted to be in the pharmaceutical game, and he tried to force himself as a pharmaceutical player on the pharmaceutical table, and these pharmaceutical bigwigs said, "Ha!" and smacked him into prison. You understand that Martin Shkreli, what he was trying to do by upping the price of that one AIDS drug, and I've said this time and time again, He was upping the price to that age drug that cost, whatever, 75 cents, and then he upped it to $1,500 or whatever the hell it was. The reason he did that was because he's playing the same game as the pharmaceutical companies. He knows that the pharmaceutical companies, what they do is that they give a price to hospitals and doctors' offices that have to have certain medications on them at all times, just in case they have a patient that has these kinds of ailments that require this type of medication. Now, this medication that Shkreli upped the price on was an AIDS medication that afflicts only 1% of AIDS patients. Now, what Shkreli was doing, he was forcing hospitals who were utilizing the insurance companies to purchase these narcotics anyway, or these drugs anyway, I should say, excuse me. He was using the insurance money, because that's what the hospitals are using. They're not using their own money to buy this shit. They're using insurance money to pay Shkreli. So he figured, why not take money from the insurance company by upping the price of my drug to $1,500 and use the money that I make from upping the price of that AIDS drug and selling it to hospitals by utilizing their insurance money, use that money to research and develop new pharmaceuticals, new cures for diseases, etc. And that's what Shkreli's idea was. I mean, he was a brilliant dude. I mean, I want to be honest with you. He almost made himself a player at the pharmaceutical table. But, man, the pharmaceutical industry is a bad, bad industry. And unless you're a part of the circle, unless you're a part of the table, then you ain't going to be a part of the game. And unfortunately, Shkreli was not a part of the table. He was trying to force himself at a seat at the table, was not. And what the pharmaceutical companies did was send their goons in the government at him. Now, why did Martin Shkreli go to prison? Let's be honest. It was bureaucratic bullshit paperwork, all right? I mean, it's bullshit. I mean, they charged him with using money that he made from his hedge fund, using some of that money to purchase his pharmaceutical outfit. And at face value, that doesn't really sound that bad of a deal. As a matter of fact, I mean, isn't that what you're supposed to do? You got one business, you made a lot of money, and you want to use that money to buy another business. But you see, folks, because stocks and commodities and all this Wall Street stuff is ultra-regulated, he didn't do some bureaucratic paperwork protocol that is required by the SEC and the Federal Trade Commission and all these bureaucratic bodies. That's what basically sent him to prison. Now, it did not help that as he was out on bail awaiting trial for these charges, that he was acting a little bit autistic and a little bit psychotic. I mean, y'all remember the reason he got thrown in jail was because, let's be honest, I think the pressure was getting to Shkreli. But he was trying to obtain the DNA of Hillary Clinton. Y'all remember this? Like, he was stalking Hillary Clinton and was going to try to cut her hair and throw it in a bag and have some kind of DNA test on it or something. And that made him a danger to the public, at least to the court's eyes. So instead of waiting for trial outside of prison, they just threw him in jail, and then they threw his trial, and then whatever bullshit attorney he had told him to plea in hopes of getting a lower sentence. And even though he pleaded to this ridiculous bureaucratic paperwork jargon, they still gave him 8 fucking years, right? Or 10 years? 10 years going to be out in 8 or some shit? That's bullshit, man! I mean, that goes to show you, folks, that the pharmaceutical companies are the most powerful entities out here in this country. Most powerful entities in this country. I mean, that's what they did to Martin Shkreli, man. I mean, they ruined that kid. They fucking ruined that kid. All because he wanted to be an ambitious pharmaceutical company. He was a smart guy. Shkreli's a smart fucking kid. but not smart enough. He wasn't smart enough to outmaneuver the power of the pharmaceutical companies. Who are the biggest campaign contributors to all these bureaucrats in Washington? The pharmaceutical companies. Take a look for yourself if you don't believe me. That's why they were easily able to send the Department of Justice after Shkreli, and Shkreli had to deal with all this bullshit. And to be honest with you, he's a little autistic. Well, maybe not autistic. Maybe he's a little Asperger's. Sorry, he's a little Asperger's. So, he really didn't take shit very serious. He thought it was a fucking game. He thought waiting for trial was a fucking game. He didn't believe that he was going to go to prison. Because to be honest with you, on face value, he didn't rip anybody off. Nobody lost money with Shkreli. He just used some of the profits that he made in his hedge fund and used those profits to purchase his pharmaceutical outfit. And because he didn't do the bureaucratic paperwork required by the regulatory body, that's what he got charged with, man. And nobody gets charged with that kind of shit unless you're targeted, unless you're being made an example of, for Christ's sake. So even though he's a spurg and, he was acting a little neurotic there at the end of his freedom, I have to say, free Shkreli. You know what I mean? Free Shkreli! Free Martin Shkreli, man! He didn't do nothing. He's a good boy. He's a good boy, didn't do nothing. Don't you understand that there are child molesters that get less time than Martin Shkreli? There are child molesters that get less time than Martin Shkreli. But you see, don't mess with the pharmaceutical companies, man. Don't think that you're going to muscle them around in their game. They'll put you out. They'll either put you out by taking away your freedom or taking away your fucking life. Taking away your life. You don't believe me? Let me give you another example. All right, look, there are so many people that have died in connection with these pharmaceutical companies. You people need to realize that they're the fucking mob. You understand this, right? These pharmaceutical companies are the fucking mob. Let's talk a little bit about the Johnson & Johnson heiress. Remember that broad? She was about to marry Tila Tequila once California legalized gay marriage. This was, of course, before it was legalized through Obama. But do y'all remember that? She was out here trying, she was that blondie. She was like 33, 32. She was the Johnson & Johnson heiress. Can you believe that? And she was going to marry Tila Tequila. And because California, it was legal at the time to have gay marriage, that technically meant that Tila Tequila, if they would have had the marriage and gotten divorced, Tila Tequila could have gotten 50% of the fucking fortune of Johnson & Johnson. And you know what the Johnson & Johnson family did? They got rid of her, okay? They not Tila Tequila. No. They got rid of their own fucking daughter. They're like, man, we're not giving 50% of our net worth to some stupid, dumb MySpace whore. And guess what they claimed? Guess what they claimed the Johnson & Johnson heiress died from? Diabetes. Here you have, she's the heiress of Johnson & Johnson. She owns a pharmaceutical fucking company, and she died of diabetes at 32 years old? Give me a fucking break. Give me a break. As a matter of fact, folks, there are so many stories like this. I think that you need to realize who's in power here. It's the pharmaceutical companies. They're getting filthy fucking rich. Before I go, I'd like to also advise you another movie in relation to pharmaceutical companies, The Fugitive, starring Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones. The Fugitive. Because that's about pharmaceuticals. I'm telling you, folks, you people need to realize that this world, all it's about is power. It's like the Tears for Fears song said, everybody wants to rule the world. That's what it is. That's what it's all about. Politics is power, nothing more. And some people will do anything for it. Some people are unscrupulous for it. Some people will kill lots of people for it. And that's what this is all about. That's why you have to be an observer. You have to understand that your freedom, it's not given, it's taken. Freedom is not given, it's taken. And as soon as this government takes more and more of our freedoms away, then that's it for the Americana that we all came to know and love. The idea of the Constitution, rights that were accorded to us by God, it's over. It's over. And that's why we have to be vigilant. That's why we have to be proud Americans. That's why we have to be proud that we have the Bill of Rights. We have to be proud that we have the Constitution. We should be proud of Americana. We should be proud of our way of life. We should be proud of capitalism. And that's what I'm telling each and every one of you, man. It is time for us to take a stand as Americans and let the world know that you're not taking our freedom away, that we're not going to oblige your European communism, your European socialism. The foundation of our country since its inception was freedom. And us in America, we are willing to die for freedom. Because if there is no freedom, then there is no reason to live. If there is no capitalism, there is no reason to live. Because as I've always stated, capitalism is the essence of freedom. Capitalism gives one the opportunity to truly be free of any kind of job, unless you're making a lot of money doing something as a job, and by all means, but it gives you the freedom to do whatever the hell you want to do. Capitalism gives you the freedom to carve out your own destiny how you see fit. Capitalism helps you view your world as how you want to build it, how you want to live it. Capitalism gives you the ability to not take shit from nobody. Capitalism gives you the power to tell others what to do, and if they don't like it, well then throw some dollars in their face and watch them smile and do whatever the hell you just said. Capitalism is the essence of freedom. And that's why I advocate to each and every one of you, whether it's in America, whether it's in Canada, whether it's in England, Australia, or anywhere in the world. That's what you all should aspire to be. That's what you all should mold your countries, if you want to stay in your countries, to be. You all need to be the leaders of capitalism. You all need to be the messengers to tell the average everyday person that they themselves can liberate themselves from their own situations. Because if you keep expecting the government to do something for you, you're going to be disappointed for the rest of your life. If you expect something to happen to you, you're going to be perpetually disappointed for the rest of your life. That's why I'm calling on each and every one of you listening to my voice. You capitalists out there that are listening, don't wait for shit to happen to you. Go out and make things happen. Go out and make things happen. That's what separates us from everybody else. Us capitalists go out and we make things happen. And that's what you need to do. Remember, even if you're living in a socialist country, a communist country, you still have the ability to do things. You're on the internet. There's cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is going to provide a new avenue of wealth for everybody in the world that's participating in it. And whether or not you can live in your country that rich, it doesn't matter. You can take your money and get the fuck out and live in some country that appreciates your economy, your economics, your freedom. I'm encouraging everybody, man, everybody that listens. And listen, I look at the raw logs. I've got people who listen to this broadcast all over the world. I'm calling on you to be capitalists. I'm calling on you to accumulate cryptocurrency. I'm calling on you to provide a product or service to exchange for cryptocurrency if you can't purchase it yourself. You can still participate in capitalism. It's up to you to have the ambition, the creativity, the know-how, the knowledge, and the will to do it. And the only one that is stopping you is you. So stop it. Stop stopping yourself. Stop stopping yourself and be a capitalist. Stop stopping yourself and participate in the social organizational idea that is capitalism, that brings freedom to all that participates. You take one step towards capitalism, capitalism will take 2 steps towards you. And believe me, once you become a capitalist, once you start making your own money, once you can, go out and have a nice time and it ain't no big deal, have a nice meal at a nice restaurant, go to the clubs, go to the bars, go on vacations. Once you realize that you can do whatever you want, there is no better liberating experience than being your own person as a capitalist. I'm telling you this from firsthand experience. There is no better liberating experience than being an independent capitalist, and you don't have to call anybody boss. Anybody. So I hope each and every one of you are listening to my voice. And I hope that you're getting at least a little bit of inspiration to get up and go out and kick some fucking capitalist ass. All right, go out and accumulate as much as you possibly can in net worth. Because you are what you own, you are what you do. Outside of that, it's all bullshit. You know how that old saying goes? Money talks, bullshit walks. It's a fact. It's an absolute fact. Money talks and bullshit walks. Remember that, man. Remember. Do not give up as well. Just because you have hard times, just because you're failing, doesn't mean that it's over. You have a whole life ahead of you. Especially you young people. You've got not only life and time ahead of you, you've got the energy of youth. You could fucking work for 15 hours a day, go to sleep for 3 hours, and get up and do it again. You have the advantage of youth. And you should take advantage of that youth and make as much money as you possibly can, accumulate as much net worth as you possibly can, so when you're in your 30s and 40s, you're living lavish. You're ultimately liberated because you ain't got to call anybody boss. You've got all your own capital. You're owning your own businesses. You got your own stream of income. And by the way, everybody's going to want to be your friend. Because, oh my God, look, he owns this and he owns that. And, oh my God, all the broads are going to want to pull the balls out of your pants. Now, look, now, don't get me wrong. That is a bad curse for men. I mean, it's fun, when all the broads want you because you got the money and, you got the car and all the broads are like, oh my God, I wish I could have a good time with him. I wish he could buy me things and take me shopping and take me on vacation. I mean, that's great. But you have to remember, when it comes to women, and if they're going to come after you for your money, you have to keep that in your fucking mind. Don't think that these women love you, especially if you're a rich bastard. And nobody loved you when you were poor. Nobody loved you when you were nothing. Don't take these bitches serious, okay? I mean, always remember there's an ulterior motive to these women. Enjoy them. Appreciate them. Use their bodies as a sexual playground and all that. But don't trust them. Because once you get married, within a year, they're going to be like, you know what? I'm bored. I'm out of here. I want a divorce. And I want 50%. And I want alimony and all that stuff. Forget about it. Forget about it. Anyway, I'm going off keister. All right, now I'm telling you guys relationship advice and shit. Anyway, folks, I'm out of here. All right, I'll be back on Baller Friday. All right, this Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard fucking Time. This is episode 585. The date today is June 27th, 2018. And by the way, I'm going to be tweeting, fucking Twitter, twatter. I'm going to be gabbing out like I said, your ability and your way to be a part of the inner circle, I mean, there's about 3 spots left, okay? And once you do so, let me know, man, all right? I'm going to put up the video. I'm going to put up a Gab post right now, and for all that want to, or at least 3 of them, it's open season. If not, man, that's it, man. And after that, this Saturday, Inner Circle, man, we're getting together sometime around 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, if we can, 8 to 8:30, so we can talk about some business and some business ideas and some crypto investment ideas and all kinds of stuff. I don't want to spread the 411 about what we're going to talk about on this broadcast, but make sure to be there if you can, especially you folks that have participated and have bought crypto and that are investing and that have got businesses, etc. Anyway, folks, be on the lookout for that post. Anyway, I'm getting the hell out of here, all right? Like I said, be here on Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's right, it's going to be Baller Friday this Friday. And I hope that you're here, baby. I hope that you're here. And we're going to be talking about, once again, economics, crypto, stocks, the straight political dope, and, of course, some international relations, baby, all right? Anyway, I'm out of here, and if you want to be a part of the Inner Circle, be on the lookout for that Gab post. I am out of here! Long live the capitalist army, and death to feminism, death to socialism, and death to communism! I'm out of here. I'll see you all on Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. You better be here. You better be here. You better be here. You're goddamn right. I'm out of here.
And that, my friends, was the True Capitalist Radio episode number 585, relaying right here on the Capitalist King Network. And I want to wish everybody, thank you all for watching, and thank you all for tuning in for another installment of the True Capitalist Radio right here on the Capitalist King Network. I am your relay hoster, BN King, and I do hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. And of course, I really want to thank Ghost for tonight's broadcast as well. So thank you, Ghost, for providing another 3 hour plus. So thanks, Ghost, for that. I do appreciate it. It was a great show. And hopefully, like I said, everybody enjoyed it. So hopefully everybody enjoys tonight's broadcast. And do make sure to really follow him over his Gab account, Politics Ghost. Do say so, and do make sure if you want to subscribe, go ahead and subscribe over there. Because, of course, if you do subscribe, you'll be specially invited to the TCR Discord chat, and you will be part of it. Pretty awesome, too. Also, really want to say a big thank you to JK Buki for the $250 tip. Yes, JK Buki, 127. Thank you for the very big, generous $250 tip. Oh man, this is actually pretty big. But of course, he did write something here. So it says, "Happy birthday, King!" Yes, guys, today is my birthday. So yes, thanks, JK Bookie. Happy birthday, King. Best wishes on all your endeavors in the next year. So thanks, JK. I do appreciate you, man. I really, really do. Really, to be honest, man. I mean, like, that's just a big. That's a huge tip, to be honest. So that's the first I ever saw, if I ever seen one. So thanks, JK. I do appreciate it. And also, I do appreciate everybody who said, say some birthday compliments to me. I really thank you for that. It's been just another year cycle for me. So it's just nothing special to me. But those who remembers on this day, well, I do want to say really thanks for the compliments. I mean, really, it's just it's something that you accomplish something, and you get to remember by. It's such amazing that I still have people that really do care. So very awesome. So thanks, guys. I do appreciate it. Anyways, guys, let me give some YouTube shout outs here momentarily. Before I do, let me put one last input. If you're a new listener to the TCR broadcast or new viewer, why not subscribe, as I do the TCR broadcast live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific are the times. So really, if you really want to catch up and really want to, oh, I don't know, just watch the shows when it comes live, all you do is subscribe. Simple as that. And why not? Click that bell and you get notified when the next TCR show happens live. And when the show goes live, this goes live as well as a part of the relay. And yes, it's the full show, uncut, uncensored, since, you know, all the entertainment for tards is out, so you won't get anything that was past. This is a new era of the True Capitalist Radio, all from the financial hour to the politics, real straight dope political, and something you learn every day. So of course, you know, it's a good entertainment show for everybody, and I do hope you really take it because it's a great show. Yes, it really is a great show. Aaron Tumont says, "How am I? Oh, how old am I? I don't know. Is it the same year as the Blue Hedgehog is?" Yeah, I pretty much am the 27th at this point, so I'm actually pretty getting old, but I don't feel that old since I'm still young, and there's so much to learn and so much to do because, of course, you know, at this age, anything is still possible. I mean, nothing is too late, especially right now. And of course, you know, I'm getting to crypto and going to investments. So right now, it's a good time to buy into crypto, especially for quantum. That for me to actually get into. So you know, I'm still hoarding some quantum. So you know, it's going to be on my future hold savings. So it's going to be a very buy and hold for me on quantum, especially the price for about $8.88, which was previously. But oh boy, it's gonna be awesome. To be honest, for year when the crypto goes up, because you know all that money put into it, it's gonna be worth it, and I'm just gonna be very proud of it when it goes up because I'm just waiting for the day when it goes up right now. But I'm still hoarding as much as I can, especially at these prices. So hoard them while you can. And that's pretty much it. So all the input's already done. I already said about the Politics Goes. You can follow or subscribe over the Gab account. If you do subscribe, make sure to DM him your Discord name, and he'll reply you back with the Discord invite, and you'll be instantly into the TZR Discord chat. And the reminder, this is a one-time use for it. So it's a one-time use, time limit. Take it when you need it. Anyways, let's get some shout-outs here. So I want to give some YouTube live stream shout-outs. If you're listening to this through the archives, well, you can't get a shout-out, but I really want to thank you for watching and listening in at this point. So I'm giving some live stream YouTube shout-outs, and it's pretty simple. All you do is be part of the live stream on the live feeds, on the YouTubes, and you pretty much say something right now on the chat room, and your name will pop on the participant list. I'll be naming them from A to Z alphabetically. If I missed anybody who does not appear that, then of course I'll just ram it up and see who is above and who is below. So I'll give Shosha some YouTube shoutouts. And we'll start it right now. So what's going on to Aaron Tumon, Mr. Slide, Swipe Prime, and Omega Radioist? Wow, that's everybody else. Well, I guess everybody just left at the moment. Rinku was here. There is no nuclear annihilation without creation was here. I'm scrolling up in the vlogs now. See who we have here. What's going on? To Ron Russo was here. Man, Array of Hope 23 was here. Let's see who was here. I'm looking up. John Etchison was here. Yes, he is John Etchison. What's going on? To Austin Williams. Daryl Letts was here. Who else we have here? I'm taking some YouTube shout-outs here. Once again, if you want a YouTube shout-out, say something right now, will forever be lost. So, Insane Energy was here. And is that really it? That's all I can scroll up? Oh, no, really. That's everybody? Oh, that's really everybody. Oh, hey, Herb Master was here. Hey, what's going on? Get people on your Twitch and get affiliated. I actually do have a Twitch, and I've been using it. But, of course, sadly enough, no people kind of show up because it's always zero for some reason. Even though I'm always stream with the community which play is always San Andreas at the moment, or whatever game is played. But to talk shows, well, it already has like 3. But Yeah, people just don't watch Twitch or so. I don't know. I don't know where these viewers are at on Twitch, but they just don't really appear as much, unfortunately. And I don't think it's Twitch's fault because there's just so many people like streaming. So it's somewhat preferences and all that. So yeah, except for me. Hey, wait, Herb, you say, well, well, actually no. At the moment, right now, I'm gonna only do it for Fridays since it seems to be a good time for it for some reason. I don't know. But if I get back to when the show goes on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, except maybe not all the time because right now I'm just doing like 2 streams at once at the moment. So if that's the case, then I'll try and do it again. But for now, I think it's fine if I just do like just 2 because I don't know. It's mostly dead. That's the best way to get more people on it. If you get 93 people to watch popular dead game. Gotcha. Yes. Yeah, what up, man? What up, Hazmat Geiger? What's going on, man? Who else we have here? You know what? I'm gonna scroll up here because I had to go see who else here. Let's see who else we have here earlier. Dash to the Max was here. Magelin was here. Yes, Magelin was here. Skynet was here. Search and Sky was here. Who was? I'm scrolling up on this one because the other one just for some reason doesn't want to. CCD Image was here. E Goldman was here. Who else? I'm scrolling up the old one. Kinda Dead right now is here. Infamy Ryan was here. Mitcha Heister was here, or Mike Heister. Coest was here. Commodore Crusher 9000 TM Pictures was here. The Corny channel, what the? The Corny channel is hilarious. Was here. Rick Hoover was here. Deadpool Rose was here. M. Pez was here. Daddy Boom 1 was here. Flaming Haze Man was here. Hey, Spectre was here. Yes, 007 Spectre was here. Robin Reuter was here. Frankie Mankey was here. And who else we have? The A and J Brothers was here. And also Psy TV was here. So that's... Oh, and Mute Dog Gaming and Little Ice Raven was here. And that's just about it. Yep, looks like that's about it. And JTAC, Blue Man Sonic was here. And that's everybody. So, yep, that's just everybody on the chat room. Or on the vlog or log, whatever it is, looked up here very quickly. So, of course, if I miss your shout-out name, shout-outs to everybody. Thank you for watching, and hopefully y'all enjoyed today's broadcast and tonight's, well, it's entirely just tonight's broadcast. So, once again, thank you for watching, and thank you once again for coming up for another True Capitalist Radio relay stream right here on the Capitalist King Network. So, anyways, folks, I think that's just about it. I don't have nothing as much to say. Like, a lot of interesting stuff has happened, especially this is pretty much good gifts for me, to be honest. Even though there's nothing special happening on this day to me, to be honest, I really don't say as much. But what the events has happened is pretty much a good gift. I mean, the Supreme Justice pretty much is in retirement, so sayonara, sayonara to Justice Kennedy, because we can say this. Let's go, na 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 na. Hey, goodbye. Because we don't really care about you. Good riddance. But the funny part is now Trump can select a conservative to the Supreme Justice. So this is just gonna be a historic thing, guys. Really, I'm actually pretty excited, to be honest. The good part is this is Trump's tenure, so he can choose sides. I mean, anything that could be good, that can be good, man. It can be good. Can you believe the endless possibilities of actually good passing? Something that has justice. I mean, for long we had a judge who's pretty much all for gay marriages and all this, that pretty much was just nonsense. I mean, this is actually pretty good. I'm actually pretty excited, and I can't wait to what Supreme Judge actually is going to be choosing for that's going to be just put in and be there for however many years. And I do hope It's the right. It's going to be the right choosing. The right that will justify the whole damn constitutional. Because we just have to. We just been living under corruption for so many years. I think it's time for a very new change. I just can't wait for it, to be honest. I can't wait. So hopefully we'll see what happens in store for the Trump's future, man. I'm actually pretty excited about it. But yeah, with that said, guys, that's just about it. I'm done for tonight, and I do really thank everybody for the birthday sayings and wishes to everybody. Thank you guys for that, and I do love the compliments of you and that everybody said to me, even though I am not really as much said and don't say as much, but hey, it is what it is. You live one's life and you never will live it again. So gotta live it how it is, and just ride for it. So anyways, that is all, guys. That is it for the True Capitalist Radio Relay Stream right here on the Capitalist King Network. This is BN King signing off for tonight. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you guys back here for the next one, which will be the Baller Friday broadcasts of the 586 live broadcast, or archived, whichever you guys put it. But of course, in general, I'll see you guys on the next TCR broadcast right here on the Capitalist King Network. And I want to say a good night, a buenas noches, sayonara, and later on. So thanks again, guys. Thank you all for watching, listening. Thank you, guys, once again for doing the broadcast on this really special day for me. And I do say this is a great gift for me, especially the events and all that happening. So thanks, Ghost, and thanks to everybody once again. I'll see you guys for the 586 broadcast or on the next TCR broadcast in general. So good night, guys. I'll see you guys next time. And with that, this is BN King signing up for tonight. And that is all. Later on, guys. Later. Oh, we hit a snag. Ew. Alright, later, guys. And happy birthday to me. Later. Doc Shock. Yes, thanks. You get the last one. Later.